Welcome back to ArchoniaFest, Day 1. This is our last event of Day 1. This is OSR Plus Advanced Old School Revival, and we have with us not only the game systems creator, but also the... Johnny, what was your title on this one? Oh, that was a test. Your audio is not going to the stream. Good thing I did that clever test. Hold on a second. Try it now.
And that's why they shouldn't have a vote. Is that working now?
John is our sommelier. He is not associated with.
We hired him. He's from the catering company.
Yeah.
All right. So you weren't coming through, but once again, can you tell us what your title was on the game, and then we'll hand it over to
I'm a dear good friends with Daniel /DQ. You'll probably hear me bouncing back and forth with his name. But it just have been kind of helping out, mostly like the military strategic aspects of the game.
John is a tireless contributor to the whole system's functioning, and he also created a campaign setting called the Great White North.
I have to say, I have never spoken with you guys in real time before. I knew you were good dudes when I asked that question before, because you can tell when two guys are both trying to make the other person sound more important than he's trying to make himself sound. That's how you know.
The harsh reality of it, though, we're actually just trying to get the shoulder of the blame.
You're trying to get the
other person, just
pretty much
shutting each other out constantly for fall.
Right.
No.
Mm-hmm. We're each other's fall, man.
Yeah. When's the next boss coming?
So Daniel, why don't you introduce this for us?
Yeah, so OSR Plus, or Advanced Old School Revival, is a fantasy role-playing game that I created when I realized it was too tough for me to make second edition games anymore because I was spending way too long to do it. And my friend John over here and his wife were interested in learning about role-playing games. He had played when he was a child, as did I. And I was like, you know what, maybe it's time to make the system I always wanted to make. So this game is a mixture of old school gaming, and it has a sprinkling of some of the new school stuff we'd see in games like PBTA and other games that have like story-oriented mechanics. So that's what we're going to be playing today. And we're playing an adventure that is designed to introduce people to the system without knowing the rules.
Awesome. Perfect. Love it. Now we have 5 players tonight, which is unfortunately covering up part of our visual aid area. But I'm going to do my best to keep the relevant data on screen. Let me trim this down right now, in fact. And viewers, let us know if you hear any music. I'm not hearing it on my end, but I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know who has the Twitch chat up. Carlos is asking, were you referring to AD&D 2nd edition?
Yes, I was. That's where I kind of started. I kind of noped out before 3, but my heart was in 2E, specifically skills and powers.
Fair enough. Well, I never played that, so let's see what we can do. Yurri and I began D&D together in 4th edition.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
4E. I never got to play 4E. I just recently started playing 5E, honestly, with John and his brother, who's been GMing it. And it is a wild ride into the tombs of horror. Yeah, see, that's like classic stuff right there.
Now, I played Tomb of Horrors. We played Tomb of Horrors, adapted for 4th.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, in 4th. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was Tomb of Annihilation. I forgot.
Oh, no. Yeah, Tomb of Annihilation was the 5th edition version.
Yes. Yeah.
No spoilers. We're still in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on, level 5, I think. Or
we're getting pretty far in.
I spotted an aboleth. That wasn't smart. I didn't like it.
All right. So I'm being told that the music is coming through very faintly on the stream. I'm about to turn the gain way up.
Nice. I could also jack it up slightly more on my end, if that helps.
Oh, I do hear
I
it.
have no-
It just sounds kind of like a truck to me.
It's kind of like rumbly background.
Yeah, is it just supposed to be
Ominous.
maybe?
No, I think it's supposed to be. I think it's like.
Oh, you know what?
switching tracks.
So I have an EQ effect on that dips it below the human vocal range, and that was screwing with how it sounds. I'm going to turn that off. Viewers, let me know if the background music starts to interfere with our voices too much.
Plays the
Just
acting
keep
effects.
it up.
Let us know.
All right, there we go. All right, I think that's it. We're good to go.
Great. Does that mean I'm driving the car now, the bus?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, what I want to do before we get into the actual adventure is give you a bit of a premise, because in OSR Plus, we like to do a session 0 that gives you some inspiration for your characters before you build them. So I know you all have like characters that you built in the character builder online. So we're going to do a little bit of session 0, and then we're going to revisit those characters we built, make sure they're good to go. We're going to connect everyone together. That way we go in with intention, in our adventure. So the premise here, one of the campaign settings in OSR Plus is called a Quest of Queens. And in this campaign setting, the fantasy world, which is like any other fantasy world, the Forgotten Realms-esque, and in the sky there is an island where people called the High People rule from. And they are kind of benevolent rulers over the world. They're your typical elves, right? But they have hollow bones because the gravity is less up there. And the humans and all the other origins below have enjoyed relative peace as a result of them ruling up in the sky. But this adventure begins shortly after their great crystal, which contains all the magic in the world, has been shattered. And the island has plunged into the ocean, and everything has gone into chaos. And so now on the surface of the earth, all of the origins are vying for control. And so your adventuring group, you are fleeing from whomever is responsible from having destroyed this great crystal. And we're going to find out who this person is, what they've done to you, and how you guys are bound together. Does that sound cool?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Great.
That's good.
So this involves some rolling. So part of the magic of session 0 is that I don't necessarily know how it's going to pan out, and I'm going to be here to shepherd these relationships. Hopefully this will take maybe like 30 or 40 minutes or so, because it's going to be a good bulk of this part of the session. And then we'll go into the adventure, and you'll have free reign to do whatever chaos you intend to do. I know one of you is actually a chaos mage. That's true to the facts. Okay.
I'm also a high person.
Yes, so I think that's very important, because that means we have a survivor of this calamity in your party. And I think the rest of you are Nim, who in this system, that's your typical gnomes or dwarves, your small people. So that's going to be very interesting. I don't know.
Thank you.
And John is some kind of crazy human.
Oh, you know what? All of our name tags still say a character. I'm going to go ahead and get those names going while we do this.
Okay, so let's start with these bonds. So a bond is a way to relate two characters together. Let's just find my page. It has this nonsense on it. Here we go. Okay, so how are we doing dice? The system only uses the d6, but in session 0, we tend to use all the dice. So you can roll digitally if you want. You could roll with the physical dice. It doesn't matter to me. So who would like to be bonded first? All right, so Patty.
Yeah.
What I need you to do is, we've got 5 players. I want you to choose a number between 1 and 6, or you can roll a d6.
I'll roll. I got 1.
Oh, okay. So you are bonded to Steve's character. All right. And I'm going to give you the nature of that bond, and you guys are going to kind of workshop that when we come around to it. So
Okay.
I need you to roll a d12. 6. Okay. So you have the blackmail. So this means this can go in either direction. It's up to you, because you're initiating this bond. So they know something about you and are keeping it a secret because you have something on them, or vice versa. So either you got the blackmail on them, or they have blackmail on you. And we'll come back. So think about that. This is a yes and situation. So like whatever you say goes, and Steve can modify it. He has to accept it, but he can modify it, toss it around once he comes back.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to go next?
Before we move on from Patty, what is your character's name?
Phen. Phen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it made me add an extra N, so it might be at Phenn.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and go next since I just got
Perfect.
picked for that.
All right, so I need a D6.
2.
2. So you are bonded to Jon's character.
Ooh, and what's his name?
What is his name?
My name is Alonzo. You could put just Al if you want. If it's easier, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
2 L's if you spell it out. No Z in this.
No
And
what?
Steve, to determine the nature of your bond, I need a D12.
D12, you got it.
Yep.
5.
5. All right. The X. Okay, so this is fun. So this Jon is either your ex-lover, an estranged family member, or an ex-business partner. So it's totally up to you, and you can bounce this back and forth between you guys.
Strange family member.
Perfect. All right.
Probably
So
by
don't think
marriage.
about that.
Yeah.
That's going to be very interesting with you being a high person. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'm going.
Oh, let's do
Oh no,
Yurri.
actually, since Jon, we'll do tag team.
Just go down the line. Now, I was gonna say ladies first, though. But
All right. So I need a D6.
3.
3. You're in fact bonded to Yurri.
Hey, look at this. Just,
There you go.
everything's
Your
falling
buddies
into
already.
place.
Could do worse.
D12. D12.
D12. It's a 2.
A 2. All right. You have the partner in crime.
Oh.
So they helped you obtain something valuable to you, and now you are implicated or liable for what was taken.
And you can put these right into your sheet, by the way, everyone, if you wish.
Yeah,
we're-
under
We add
background.
Yeah, going
so
under the
background.
story section, under hooks, you can actually make bonds and all these sorts of things.
Or story. I listen to Jon because I don't remember how the rules.
You're on that side always.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Yuri, what's your character's name?
Takis.
You spell that?
Taqys. You might remember
Wait
her
a
from
minute.
a previous adventure.
Come on. I already killed this character.
Yes, but she resurrected. That was a different dimension.
Oh, man.
She's back
This
with
is
a vengeance.
Takis number 2.
All right. So this leaves Cindy to go now. Oh, sorry. Yurri and Cindy. So I need D6s. Who wants to go next?
Right? I rolled a 3.
3. All right. 1, 2, 3. So you're bonded to Yurri as well.
No, she is Yuri. I'm bonded.
Oh,
Back,
wait.
we have 2 bonds.
No, hold on. So did Cindy roll?
No,
I did
Yuri,
not roll.
Yuri rolled it.
Oh, Yurri rolled. Oh, I thought you're weird. Okay, sorry. 1, 2, 3. So that would be yourself. So I'm going to bond you to Cindy.
Okay. And what's Cindy
All right,
called?
then you-
I am Lyran Lightfoot, but I can change that first name
Nah, you know what? I kind of like that we...
since we were both lazy about that.
Alternate universes.
It's a good name.
I
Alright.
feel like since I'm such a high person, you guys probably stole that name from us.
Oh, is that how that happened?
That's what I'm going to go with.
I come from a friendly, race. I think that's probably how it happened.
The Nim are sociable and friends to everyone.
Exactly.
So why do you D12?
From
Uh,
Yuri, right?
I rolled
Yeah.
a 10.
A 10. All right. So your bond is the thief. So you stole something from Cindy, and they do not and cannot know about it. All right. And now we have Cindy left. Yes. I usually
Okay,
get confused in this process, especially the bonds. So let's get your bond first. So a D6.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
2. So you're also bonded to Jon's character, Alonzo.
I do get around.
And I need D12 to determine your bond.
Not like that. Okay. 6.
A 6. So that's the blackmail, so I'm gonna have to roll again.
Okay. 12.
Ooh, the hunted. So you're both hunted or persecuted by the same people, and you may be the only survivors of a disaster you weren't supposed to survive. Okay. So now that we all have our bonds, and the earlier people have had some time to think about it, we go back around and we're going to start setting that up. So I believe Patty went first.
I did.
So what are your thoughts about your bonds there with, I think it's Steve?
Well,
I know he's a high person and you're a nim, right?
so I probably have something on him, I would think.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of a loner. I spend a lot of time in the woods with animals and things. So I think I know something about him. But I don't know what that is.
Remind me what the wording of the bond was.
Sorry?
What
the bond? Let's see. You had which one was it? The blackmail?
Mm-hmm.
So they know something about you and they're keeping it secret because you have something on them or vice versa.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can have something on me. I'm a jackass. There's plenty to have on me.
I assume you came from the Hive City, the Magic City, right? That fell apart. So that's a factor there. Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was my fault.
Oh, the falling of the city?
Or maybe not 100% my fault, but I might have been involved. I might have been in the room.
Interesting. And so, Patty, how do you know that he was responsible for this? For the destruction of the Great Crystal? Or in part responsible?
Maybe I overheard a secret meeting. They had teleported someplace remote, and I was doing my thing and overheard them.
Okay. Who's he talking to?
Probably other high people that caused the downfall of their entire society.
So internal fighting is what how you're suggesting.
Maybe they did it on purpose.
Oh.
Maybe the fall of the city was on purpose because they thought maybe if they got rid of all the high people and only kept a couple, there'd be more power to be shared between fewer people.
I was not involved in doing it on purpose, but maybe I helped. Maybe I knew and didn't say anything.
Got it. So yeah, what's your side of the story there, Steve?
Yeah, I saw what happened, but the people who did it are so influential and so powerful that I thought it was just safer to keep my mouth shut. So I was probably present and maybe even for a split second could have stopped it, but I didn't, and I haven't said anything.
And so it's kind of like a combination of cowardice, but also self-preservation that you didn't want to reveal this, and that's what she has on you.
Exactly.
So okay, I know that he could have made a difference and didn't.
Right. So now you owe Patty's character because of this.
That's okay.
Fair to say?
I'm a compulsive liar, so I'll just say I don't owe her.
And I'm kind of passive, so I won't enforce it. So it'll be kind of like a bouncing little relationship.
I'll just live in fear of you forever.
Perfect.
Cool. So I think that gives us a good baseline to start with there on your bond. So now we've got that bond kind of sorted together. Who would like to go next?
I'll go.
I kind of have mine figured out, I think. Because I put a little bit of a backstory in mine, because I'm a thief, an assassin, but I had to escape from a wizard who was doing experiments on captives. And I was one of those captives. And I took the opal that was being used in those experiments. And that wizard wants that back.
Now, is this wizard the one who was responsible for consolidating power in the Magic City and destroying that crystal?
I'm thinking maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like he's the big bad.
Because I was just a captive, but maybe that becomes part of it. But maybe Johnny was also a captive, and I helped him escape.
Okay. So, and now, just one quick question: were they only experimenting on Nim, or were they experimenting on all kinds of people?
Just all kinds.
All kinds. Okay. Sorry,
I was gonna add in though. I'm leaning towards doing the conflict of the nemesis. So either maybe one of his like lieutenants, or if you want to make it him, like I could have had like I was out there to actually fuck up shit, and then we can't curse, right? We don't know that. Okay, sorry. We can
totally curse.
Hell yeah, fuck it. But so anyway, I was going after whatever, like I said, his lackey or him or whatever. Like I was trying to like show him up, and like stumbled across this Nim prison or whatever.
Okay. So
It's
you're
very, like,
saying you were a
unpersonalized.
servant to the BBEG, to this sorcerer?
No, I'm one of his servants' rivals. My conflict is nemesis.
One of his servants' rivals. Got it.
So, or him too,
Okay.
but I don't want to like say I'm the BBG's nemesis. Instead.
Yeah, so we could be, but still, that would still make us both on
Hunted.
this wizard's radar,
Yeah.
Got it.
which I named
And I-
Kendra the Wizard, by the way. So
What's his name?
Kendra the Wizard.
Kendra's her name. All right. Excellent. Kendra.
I was not good with names that evening. Anyway,
That's great. It helps me once I put those BBGs together and unleash them upon you. So now, Steve, you must know Kendra the Wizard then, because you're a high person, and Kendra was consolidating power in Magic City by getting rid of the other high people and experimenting on people. What do you know about Kendra?
Sorry, I was muted. She probably taught a class at Magic High Person University that I went to. I don't know. She probably did evil magic, so I probably know some evil magic from her. I wasn't good at the evil part, though.
Were you a pupil of hers?
Yeah, I maybe not. I didn't know her closely. It was probably a class with a lot of high people in it. But yeah, I think I knew her. Fairly. She probably failed me.
And so, just to circle back to John really quick, there was some other political rival to Kendra's, and you're a servant to that person.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, I have a nemesis out there, and who they are in relation to Kendra, and who if Kendra, I work for someone that was Kendra. I'm also a confabulator. Maybe I'll change that just so we don't have the same flaw. But I kind of picture this guy as he's a gadabout. He's been through all the royal. He kind of, BS's his way through life, but he's very willful and very self-centered though as well.
Got it. Okay. All right. So I'm seeing some threads coming together here. Who have we not touched on yet? Who's spawn?
I think, actually, Cindy, you said that you stole an opal.
Opal, yeah.
I figured since I stole something from you that you can't know about, maybe I stole that opal from you and replaced it with a fake opal because I need that opal because my clockwork assistant, his heart is winding down and I need to replace it. And that's what I did because unknowingly I'm also in love with my clockwork assistant, but I don't know that yet. I'm totally oblivious to this.
okay, yeah, and it's a large opal, so that kind of
Big.
that works.
Okay. I love this. So
like
it's
opals
the
are small.
opal. What's the value of this opal, Cindy? Is it
I would think,
part of the magic
so
crystal,
an opal
or is it
is
something
maybe
else?
like, I don't know. Today you could buy an opal that's maybe this big.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like, I don't know. So what do you think? I don't know the money value in this system. So
I just mean narratively. Is it like a magical thing? Is it part of the?
So narratively, yes. Narratively, there is definitely some magic to it. I can't tap into that magic. I just know that out of her hands, it's not hurting anybody.
I see. So Kendra was going to use it.
That's why I took it.
Perfect. And now, when you took it, when you stole it from her, what was she going to do with it, as far as you know?
She was conducting some sort of. I didn't understand the experiments. I'm not a mage or anything like that. I'm not a wizard. Sage says I've got no. I can kill people and I can steal, and I'm a greedy little thing. Something is shiny in the room. I am thinking, how do I get my hands on that?
I like shiny things too.
So you both just wanted to have this crystal for you, for your clockwork companion, and you actually wanted to buy stuff.
Basically.
Got it. Okay, but in the end, it's a good thing because it was kept out of the hand.
Yeah, but I don't want, I didn't want people being hurt by it, so I took it when I left.
Got it. All right. Are there any other story hooks we haven't covered here? Did I get everyone?
No. So I have the partner in crime with Yurri.
Yeah.
And I think we could tie it somehow into maybe I'm in on this thing. I was going to also swing it back around to the X with Steve's character because maybe he actually knows how to unlock it because he is a mage. And maybe but like we haven't talked in years and
he studied with Kendra.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, so it makes it even like now it's like a telenovela. I was gonna say like maybe my ex-wife is his brother. Like I dated a high person, or I was married to a high person that's his sister, or
by family, like Steve was saying.
Yeah. And there's this annoying like high person sort of tradition about family where like even though they're divorced now, he's still my brother forever, and I have to treat him as such. And I don't even like this guy. Yeah.
Vaguely Mormon.
Yeah.
Got it.
But like water and oil.
Perfect. And I think we still have Steve's left, or we did all of them?
So that's Steve's X with me, right?
Yeah, and we resolved the one with me and Patty as well.
Right.
Great. So everyone feels good so far about these connections?
I think so.
Yeah.
Only thing we didn't really flesh out anything with Yurri and I about what exactly like what the deal is or what like because you got this. You're currently in the possession of the right one, or are you?
Machine. Yeah. She's got it in her clockwork companion, right? But it sounds like my guess would be, Jon, that you have a greater knowledge of the big situation, right? Because you served the political rival of Kendra. So I imagine you would be okay with the opal being in Yuri's hands because at least it's not in Kendra's hands.
Maybe you supplied me with the fake opal.
Yes. She said you're a charlatan, right? So.
I was a confabulator, but I guess I'm a charlatan now, and we will.
There you go.
We'll adjust that a bit. I'm fine with that.
All right.
So you did an Indiana Jones where you switched opals, and I don't care. I just want money.
You just want an opal. You don't care what it is. Okay, great. Okay, so now I'm going to set the bonds aside. Now we have some relationship between each other. What I would like to do is more deeply connect us to Kendra before we move on into the actual adventure. Okay, so at this point, what I want to do is I want to each give you a hook that ties to Kendra so we can flesh out who she is more specifically and how she's wronged you in particular. Each of you has had some kind of brush with Kendra that has given you a chill to the core because of how powerful this person is. So who would like to get their bond to Kendra first? All right, Patty. What I need, and this is on the sheet. I have like a million sheets here. What is on the sheet here? There. We need a D12. This is things about Kendra and a way to relate it to yourself.
6.
A 6. So, a vast and wicked legion at Kendra's command. And it has to in some way be associated with you. Perhaps you saw this legion. Perhaps you were wronged by it, whatever you want to decide. Who would like another Kendra fact?
A vast, say it again. Kendra, a vast and what?
A vast and wicked legion.
Wicked
Or
legion.
army.
I have an idea. Okay.
All right, great. So noodle on that for a minute. I want to give everyone their things.
I'm noodling.
Excellent.
I'll do one.
All right.
I mean, other than the fact that she had me captive.
I mean, you already captured and experimented on, so we're gonna add something else on top of that. So I need a D12.
All right. 3.
3. A sinister motive. So you said you don't know what the use of her opal is, but you could tell us from a larger narrative perspective what it actually is. We'll think about that. Who would like
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to give that some thought.
Yeah. Who's next?
I rolled a 12.
12. Yurri. A true and righteous belief.
True and righteous belief. What does
Okay,
Kendra believe in?
Exactly.
The only thing I really believe in is knowledge for knowledge's sake. So she's
And love.
experimenting on people for something, then I'm interested in the results of that experiment.
Classic
Oh,
Tacus.
that's perfect. Okay.
I think I've
You're not
got.
so much concerned with how it got there. Yes.
Nope, I'm so sorry, Cindy, that you experienced your captivity, but the results were worth it.
What? Did you?
Sorry, Cyndea, you said you had an idea?
Well, the sinister motive
Mm-hmm.
for the opal, maybe making stronger, unquestioningly loyal warriors.
Oh. Maybe they're turning them into clockwork warriors, because then perhaps if they're clockwork, that would make sense that Yurri's companion would be helped by having the stone.
Yeah.
All right.
That works.
Perfect.
Or maybe
right.
she's trying to turn you into a clockwork.
Yes.
I've got scars.
Oh,
Maybe you have the scars of
Don't ask.
experimenting to make a clockwork army. All right. Let's see. We got John and Steve who need relationships to Kendra.
I'll go. I'm just waiting for the mecha nim though. They're coming up in this. 10.
10. A forsaken place of origin. And Steve.
Yep. Also 10.
10. All right, you can roll it again, unless you just want to really develop forsaken places.
8.
8. A great weapon, evil artifact, or cruel magic. So you could expand upon the opal, or we could, do something entirely different. All right. Who wants to elaborate on there? We got the clockwork experimentation. Great.
So I was a little bit in the tech for a second. Was there a point when the opal was in Kendra's possession for a while?
It's a good question.
Yeah. It was.
I think I stole it from her, and that's why she failed me, because she caught me and got it back.
Oh, okay. So, okay. This
Yeah.
thing has moved along, it seems.
Yeah. I didn't even know what it was. I'm a bit arrogant, and I didn't like that she had it and I didn't.
Got it. Are the high people kind of like, a weird aristocratic one-upping situation where they're all like hijinks each other?
And I think
each
in the same way that the high people as a whole see themselves as better than other races, I think each individual high person sees themselves as better than the other high people.
And they're jostling. So she's taking it to the nth degree. She's going to make herself better by getting rid of all of the other ones. That's the idea.
Yeah.
And making them into robots that she can control.
Yeah, whereas I'm more pragmatic and generous towards those who are lesser than me, which is everyone.
That's nice, though. It works out.
Yeah.
All right. What else we had? We had the true and righteous belief. Okay. We had the forsaken place of origin. I want to hear about that.
Yeah. So I think that this is post Mariah's the flying city crumbling.
Yeah.
It actually, on impacts at one part in the world, it opened up something and revealed something from the past. And this is actually where the opal originally comes from. And that's that's the chain of events came from this opal. Like, it's always been like a, mysteries about it and folklore or whatever, but that actual was revealed.
Did she deliberately destroy her entire city to get access to this opal?
Oh.
Because it sounds like she's crazy enough to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Dropped a bomb on it.
Yeah.
And maybe not the original opal. Maybe they're like, if I don't mess with timelines, that might have been already established. But like, maybe that's where the source of that material
Okay.
is found.
Right, because if I stole it and then Yurri stole it, she needed a new one. So.
Oh, so she's recovered another one. So she has an opal that she took from the bottom of the destruction of the city. So you've got one and she has one, is what we're saying.
Because maybe the opal was helping that island.
Oh, stay afloat. Did she take it out of the island?
Maybe she had to take it out of the clockworks of the island.
She's the worst.
To use it on her little experiments, and that was the only one left that she knew of. So she took it and destroyed the island.
Okay, that sounds to me perfect. So she destroyed the island to take it, and you guys have the other one.
Because it was like the heart of the island, maybe.
Perfect. That makes sense. And then very quickly, are you guys all then from the Magic City before it was destroyed? Because you're Nims, except for our human friend and
no.
Wizard. So you're not. You're from the Earth.
I'm not from the Magic City.
You're from the regular Earth.
But you've been there.
I'm from Earth or whatever the
land,
country Nim.
Yeah, I'm not from there, but
Salt of the earth.
obviously I had been taken wherever she took me.
And experimented.
From
Okay.
place.
All right.
Perhaps the person that I was in love with was from the city.
Okay.
Remember my history and my background. Lots.
Was this
love.
person experimented on?
Maybe I don't know.
Okay. Oh. Interesting. That gives you a hook to be afraid of Kendra, it sounds like.
Possibly. And I'm thinking her legion probably destroyed what I consider my forest. For resources and whatever else, tromping through, destroyed things that I cared about.
And now, do you harbor a vendetta against Kendra for what she's done?
Probably. I probably do.
I think you all, in some way, probably do.
Yeah, her selfishness and her carelessness.
Yeah, I hate Kendra.
Okay.
Something's going on with my internet, I think, or your internet.
Yeah, I think it's on your end. Everyone else looks fine, but you're kind of blurry.
Yeah, it's something going on. Mine, just a sec.
That's okay.
Actually, I don't really have any against Kendra.
You think her methods make sense, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. I mean, after all, she obtained an opal that's helping my clockwork assistant. But if she destroyed an island, I'm kind of worried now that a bunch of clockworks are going to go after us.
That's true. And this leads us directly into our adventure here, because now that we understand who this villain is that's after us, we find ourselves being chased by her deep into the dune sea of Mamara, which we can see on the screen here, obscured partially by our faces. This dune sea is a vast desert that covers a large continent in the world. And the group of you, having traveled for many weeks and months trying to escape Kendra's clockwork armies, have been driven deep into the Dune Sea. And as a group together, you've lost all resources at this point. You don't have anyone to turn to except with each other. And you all have various beefs with each other, various problems. But at the end of the day, you all know you don't like Kendra, right? And Kendra is after you. So what you've decided, you've learned that deep in the Dune Sea, there is a place called the Faht Bottom Inn. And the Faht Bottom Inn is owned by Jafar Faht, who is an intelligence agent in the Dune Sea. And he happens to be someone who has a lot of knowledge about all the factions at play in the world after the fall of the magic city of Marias. What you've learned as well about Jafar is that he's calling together, and this happens every so many years, a number of captains. And these captains, they have an airship at their commands, and they're looking for crews. They come periodically to acquire new crews so that they can go adventuring and achieve whatever aims they need. But for you guys, this might be a chance to set yourselves back up, to possibly gain allies, and find a way to strike back at Kendra at the end of the day. So you're traveling now to the Faht Bottom Inn in hopes of meeting one of these captains. And maybe Jafar himself, he might be knowledgeable enough to give you information you need. And so I'm going to go and pull up some images really quickly while we're doing this. Let's everyone take a minute or so to dwell as I look at stuff here. So I'll pull up some images. All right.
Boy, I sure hope I never meet that Kendra lady again.
That
She was the worst.
is the worst.
You're telling me.
So I'm hearing voices. Why don't we do a quick downtime as we're approaching the Faht Bottom Inn? You're traveling on these large mammoth-like creatures that have a couple of heads. Think Star Wars, but with multiple heads, smelly bees buzzing. In the distance, you can see this large structure in the middle of the Dune Sea. It is a honeycomb structure. It looks almost like a beehive. And even from this distance, some miles away, you can hear a faint buzzing of bees. You know that Jafar is a beekeeper. As you're all sitting amongst each other, and we have this downtime, I want you to think of one emotion and pick another character to have a conversation with. You've been traveling for a while, you're frustrated with each other. You really want to get someplace to have something to eat and go to sleep. So let's all grab an emotion here. Steve, what emotion are you feeling?
Annoyance? Is it just one emotion?
Just one emotion for now.
Self-satisfaction.
Self-status. You feel like you've done something great. Who do you want to talk to for this downtime?
Tagus.
Takis. All right, great. And John, I'm going to start referring to you by your names, which may take me a moment. Alonzo, what emotion are you feeling?
Oh, mostly boredom.
Boredom. And who are you bothering when you're boredom?
Ooh, who am I bothering? Which Lyran to choose? Now I'm gonna go with Fen.
All right, Fen. You're bothering Fen. All right. Let's see. Takis, what emotion are you feeling?
Exasperation.
Exasperation. Why are you exasperated?
There's this tall person that keeps blabbering in my ear when I'm trying to get the sand out of Pickpock, my clockwork assistant.
Got it. And who is that person that you're going to talk to?
I guess that would be Lyran, not the Lightfoot, Lyran, whatever his name is.
The Thirsty. I wanted to mention this. I should have said it during the sort of pre-game tech call. You guys on Google Meet, if you hover over each person's video feed, you should see a safety pin icon.
Oh, okay.
Play with that.
Yes.
You probably can like unpin everyone except me, and then that way my feed will be bigger. You guys will see what the stream sees.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Is that better? I just clicked on it a bunch of times.
Well, it doesn't do anything on my end. It's just for you.
Yeah, you can just make it so that his feet are giant.
Yeah, now you're all equal size. Yeah.
There's a delay though.
Me big.
Like this jazz hands.
Yeah, I think you can also click "Don't watch" on other people if you want it to be just me.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
We've got some emotions here. We've got who do we not have? We have Yurri. Who are you talking to? The other Lyran?
Well, I have the tall
Thirsty.
Lyran talking in my ear, so I guess I'm talking back to him. Or
Got
do I
it.
have to talk to someone different?
Anyone that you feel like you want to talk to. All right. And who do we have left? Who have I missed?
Me, I guess.
Cindy? Yeah. All right. What emotion are you feeling?
Frustration. Tired of writing this thing. My butt hurts. I haven't been able to steal anything in who knows how long.
Bro, there's nothing out here to steal. It's terrible. Just sand.
Terrible. It's awful. I can't stand it.
Who are you complaining to?
Everybody. Loudly.
So how about we'll come back to you last and you'll choose the one that seems the least annoyed. You're going to annoy them first. All right. Let's have these conversations.
Did Patty get one too?
No, Patty, did we get you an emotion?
What happened?
No,
Patty, are you with us?
I'm here.
Oh, did we get you an emotion?
You didn't. So I guess I'm just tired. It's been a long ride. I'm listening to you guys jabber. I'm not used to being around so many people for so long. I just want to commune with these animals. I don't really want to talk to or hear you guys complain about your petty little bullshit.
Do you want a monologue?
Anything but petty.
You can speak to the camera if you like. About your inner thoughts. There's a reward for that downtime, to be clear.
These people are ridiculous. This is why I prefer animals over humans. They smell, they complain, they bitch all the time.
I hate humans too.
Selfish.
Yes, that's all well and good. You still haven't answered my question. Where are we going?
My ass hurts. I'm sick of this. Dang sand everywhere.
I just want to go home. Why are you even going this way?
So, Fen, I want to give you a global story tag. And we're going to call it I Just Want to Go Home. Okay?
Okay.
And what this means is anyone can evoke the story tag through the next 3 sessions. And it'll give you a +2 to your roll as long as it's related to the tag. I just want to go home. So you can add that into your sheet if you like. That's for your brief monologue there. So let's get these conversations rolling. I'll reward everyone as they're approaching the Faht Bottom Inn.
Just want to go home.
Takis, I think I like you better than the rest of these people. You know why?
Because I am so much better than everybody, smarter than everybody, brighter than everybody, and
everybody
I have a
else,
clockwork
yes.
assistant.
Yes. And you're very just personable in a way that means that you don't interfere with my personhood.
Your personhood. Right. And what exactly does that mean?
It means you sort of recognize, the way things are.
The problem with the way things are is that it just stays the same. Change. We need things to change. I mean, look at this. We're full of sand. We're gritty. We need it to change. We need to get somewhere down there and wash off this grit. I mean, look at Pickpock. He's all gritty and sandy. It's going to take me ages to get rid of the sand.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure you can relate. You don't look as tall and shiny as you used to.
Well, if by that you mean that I'm no longer living in the floating city, that's a subject of racial trauma for my people, and I'll thank you not to bring it up again.
Racial trauma? Oh, you mean when that big explosion happened? But you weren't there at the time, right?
Oh, a lot of us were. The whole city fell.
How did you survive?
We are the high people.
Who fell a long highway down? Did you fly down?
In a sense. In a sense.
In a sense. You don't have wings, do you? Oh, maybe you have a glider. You have a glider?
Our people have many techniques for staying aloft, and we did in fact design a whole city that could fly.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Maybe he's floating on his ego.
You see, Takis, when other people speak up, it's always unpleasant. That's why I speak with you.
Well, if you could tell me a little bit on how you got that city to float, I'd be really interested in that.
Do you know what magic is?
Yes.
Well, you're halfway there.
Just halfway. Wow. Man. Maybe I could have learned some more if I didn't get kicked out of school.
You too? I mean, what did you do?
I don't like to talk about it, but let's just say that things were a little smoky and things just went a little boomy.
That is so relatable.
Oh, you like to learn too? I mean, it was clearly an accident. I mean, I didn't mean to. I mean, maybe, the next time I do something like that, if I just added a little bit more powder, it would have been fine. But they didn't see it that way. I mean, clearly, they're not as evolved to see the greatness of my genius.
That must be it.
What I'd like to do now is give you guys a bond tag for that wonderful exchange. So I want to call that bond tag change.
Okay.
And so the bond tag is the same as a global story tag. It gives you a +2 when you invoke it, but because it's a bond between you two characters, only one of you can invoke it. And if either of you invoke it, then it's used. So you can add that to your sheet, both of you, if you want.
Where would we record that on the sheet?
I think it's under story tab, right? And then story hooks.
Yeah, you gotta go. If you go into the editing mode,
Okay.
you can go down the story and it says hooks. You can make all the different sorts of hooks and whatnot.
Copy that.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, what other conversations do we have here?
I turn to Fen, and I'm just looking at the two of them. Dear God, man. Oh, sorry. What? Last I saw you were a bird, right? A bird? Is that what you are? A fox? You just constantly are changing shape. It's very fascinating. I could use someone around like you, salt of the earth and whatnot.
I feel comfortable when I'm something else.
Well, I think you're just fine the way you are, Fen. Really, charming, wonderful, smashing.
course. This is
Now,
why we get along so well, because you understand me.
You seem very resourceful too, and I must say, there's something that I must get off my chest, and it's that I'm quite fucking bored here. It's just that nothing's been quite right, and I just have this one yapping over here, and this one tinkering around, and I think the other one keeps trying to steal stuff from me. Your friend, I
will.
worry about this, but...
As you're talking to me, I'll turn into a chickadee and land on your shoulder and sing you a little song.
Oh.
Just like that, yes.
And I like sit back and like kind of lean back on the beast, and I'm like, you now entertain me. Thank you, Ben.
Oh.
Do a little hoppy hop.
I feel like this conversation's bond tag is called Salt of the Earth. And so you both can invoke this if you like.
I also feed Fen a little bit of a like ration, but it's actually out of Fen's bag.
That's why I enjoy it so much.
Yes, you know, flavor I like.
What is Salt of the Earth?
Salt of the Earth.
Love it.
All right. I think Cyndea.
Yeah, I'm complaining. Does anybody else's ass hurt? I mean, I'm just a small thing, but it hurts. I just stick both my feet in the air. Look at all this sand. I put both my boots off and just to dump it out. That's a lot of sand.
Humans.
Right? That's a lot of sand. I put them back on. I'm sick of this. And I'm sick of that. When is this going to be over? Can anybody tell me that?
If you think you're sick of it, how do you think the animal you're riding on feels having to carry you while you shout like that?
Please.
I can tell you how he feels.
I'm lighter than you are. Oh, you're probably lying.
No, I have hollow bones. It's a trait of my people.
Hollow bones?
Yes.
That's weird.
Are you sure you didn't have
You're
wings?
weird.
More sand. There's more sand.
Oh, don't.
It doesn't
Don't
help
blow
when you
this
throw
way.
it.
You're getting it a TikTok.
I'm going to call this tag sand everywhere. It'll be a global tag that anyone can evoke. Okay. And everyone had a conversation so far? All right. Right? I don't want to leave anyone out. I'm very bad at remembering when there's a bunch of players. Okay. So what I want to do now, before we move into reaching the Faht Bottom Inn, just a few meta things. And then I want to look at our sheets to make sure we're good to go, because now that we have a sense of who our characters are, we can finalize those sheets. A few things about the way the system works when we get into the actual running of it. Combat's always an option, but problem solving will get you farther, because it's very easy to be harmed in the system. As you can see, you don't have very many hit points. So try not to rush into murdering things. You can. I'm not going to stop you, but it's very easy to die. So problem solving can help. The second thing is you may encounter NPCs who you can add to your party, and they will help you in your adventure. It's up to you whether you want to include them. And then the last thing is flags. If at any point there's something problematic that's brought up, you can DM me or just raise your hand as a flag. You don't have to tell me, and I'll switch subjects just so we know. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So at this point, I just want to make sure we have our sheets in order. We're right at the doors of the Faht Bottom Inn. We're about to throw it open. I'll give us a description of what we see inside, and then let's just take a moment to get the mechanicals done. I'm going to put on the screen the interior of the tavern that we see. When we throw the tavern doors open and the hot wind of the Maran Desert blows inside, the first thing we smell is this thick scent of honey and apis wine, which is a special honey that's created by the bees in this ancient place. The building seems to be made of a fossilized honeycomb itself. And hanging from the ceiling, it's a very tall ceiling building, you see these hives which are buzzing with bees. And it's somewhat empty, because from what you understand, these captains have just arrived and they're waiting for crews to arrive to entertain their crews. And you see behind the bar there are two gentlemen. One is a clockwork, who's very fancily dressed. He has a top hat and a suit. And beside him is a cowboy-looking gentleman, maybe middle-aged. And I'll put up a couple pictures of these just so we get a sense of what they look like. Let's see. So this clockwork person, he seems to be serving drinks with some rapidity. And then the cowboy-looking character, let's see, where is he? Usually I have a friend who helps me with this, but David's not here, so I'm all alone. Okay, so here is this other gentleman, kind of scraggly, smoking a cigar. He has a friendly smile to his face, and he's also behind the bar. So while we're getting our bearings in here, let's take a moment and look at our sheets, make sure they align with the concepts we've come up with. And we can just, John is great at this point because he can help us mechanically get our bearings. So let's take a good 10 minutes and get that squared away.
Okay.
Everyone should have 2 story tags for both one each or 2 each for your conflict and your flaw. I'm actually in the process of writing mine now because I was going to wait to see how session 0 went. And
a story tag, just to be clear, is a narrative thing. So, for example, if your conflict is the hunted, then you might want to choose fast on my feet. And then maybe as a story tag, and then maybe as the story tag coming out of your flaw, maybe you choose paranoid, or I'm always looking over my shoulder. You can make these up. Basically, when you want to use them, you can use them once per session. It'll give you a +2.
I have a question just about this sheet.
Yeah.
I definitely have those. You guys walked me through adding them to the sheet. Where are they? I can find them if I start editing. But just looking at the sheet, I don't see them.
It should be under, when you scroll down, they should appear, let's see, beneath, I don't know what are my sheets in here. It should be on the front page of your sheet.
Under abilities.
Yeah. And you can check them off when you use them. It'll save the state that you used them. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't
It
see
should
them,
be
but I'll
like
keep
direct.
looking. You guys.
But directly underneath abilities, at least mine are. They're the first 2 things there.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I scrolled right past them like 50 times. Okay.
So
These are one of the narrative mechanics, yeah.
What do you want us to do with these?
So basically, you want to come up with a couple of tags for your conflict and a couple of tags for your flaw. The tags from your flaw are bad things. So if I'm like, I'm looking at a sheet right now who has the celebrant as their flaw, which means they have a ritual they have to follow. And this person put rest is for the weak, so they probably stay up all the time. That's one of their story tags. And the other one is learning at great cost. So these are tags I can use against you in play. Or you can use them against yourself. And if you use them both in a session, you get a fate point, which is a special thing that lets you do control.
So I guess that confuses me.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
All right, tell me about it. Explain it a little bit more for me.
Say what's your conflict? Let's work with your conflict.
Well, the first one I have is I picked recluse because I didn't really know what I was doing. But as a druid, I would be a recluse.
Got it. So as a druid, you usually stay out of society. You keep to yourself. So what are some good things that could come as a result of being a recluse? Some qualities of a recluse or a hermit that are good. Like I'm thinking Obi-Wan. Maybe he's very patient, or maybe he is a good listener. Those could be good story.
Very self-aware.
Self-aware. Eyes 180 vision kind of deal.
Yep.
So you can have a tag like
survival.
That. Yep. Maybe like master survivalist could be a tag. They're just narrative qualities about yourself, and they derive from being a recluse. So you want to come up with 2 of them, and they're just a phrase that you make up.
Is there a master what?
You can just type it in. So when you go into conflict, you could put master survivalist, and you could put like all eyes. I see everything. Could be your tag.
Where would I type that in? I'm under conflict now.
Yep, it should be in the sidebar when you click on recluse.
Clicked on recluse.
Yeah, it should be on the right-hand side.
I see.
Yeah.
And then what you want me to put here is...
So one could be master survivalist, if that's what you wanted. And the other one could be like patient listener. Because those are things you want to be able to invoke and play to help you do things.
So you said master...
And then like a description to remind yourself what it is basically what that's for.
Okay, and then how do I add a new one?
And then, so the one below, I think you can expand it.
Tag 2.
Yeah. And then what's your flaw? This will help everyone else when they think about it too.
My flaw, I will have love. Let's see. My flaw was love struck.
Love struck. Okay, so there's a lot of. So then we have to think to ourselves, what are some negative qualities of a person who is love struck? Maybe they're naive. Maybe they're easily seduced, right? So those could be the sort of tags.
Yes.
Exactly right. So you want to create 2 that reflect the manifestations of your conflict vision flaw. And these are like really what helps define your character.
And then how would you use them?
Yeah, so let's say
example of use.
Yeah,
like let's
so
say
Master
Survivalist. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's say you guys are trapped in a jail, right? And you don't have a key, and you need to pick this jail lock to get out. And you know how to pick a lock, but you really need this lock to get picked because the guards are coming, and they're coming soon. What you could do is you could attempt to pick the lock and then apply Master Survivalist to it to increase the chances. It'll give you a +2. And it's an expression of the fact that you're a Master Survivalist helps you pick that lock. So you're looking for opportunities to use it, but you can only use them once per session, each of them.
Gotcha.
But you can use them on top of a skill too. So if you were doing a survivalist thing, like just trying to find, like you need to find us food really badly, and you could always use a survival skill every time you do a roll that's applicable for it. But you can only use that tag on top of it one time. So it's really just like an extra little push. +2 goes a long way on a D6.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. And now let's say though you were trying to get out of that jail, right? And you didn't use your tag, and I wanted you to stay in the jail as a GM. I might invoke easily distracted against you to make your roll lower. But if I do that twice, you get a fate point, which lets you control the narrative. And we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Is it okay that I used fanatical instead? Because I was looking for something like obsessive.
Yeah,
so
fanatical sounds good. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yurri, where is your microphone? You got really quiet. Is that it?
Yeah. Can
okay,
you hear me now?
Something's also rubbing on it. I feel like every time you unmute, I hear rubbing on the mic.
Oh, okay. What about now?
I don't detect any change.
Huh.
Well, we don't need to spend stream time on that.
Any other questions that you guys finalize? We're here to answer those questions to get you ready to go into this.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You were talking to her about making some sort of tags.
Yes.
And making like... I have 1 flaw and 1 conflict, and you want 2?
Yep, so 2 under your conflict, 2 story tags, under your flaw, 2 story tags.
Okay, and it'll just let me choose that. No problem.
You'll type them in, yeah, when you click on your flaw or your conflict.
Okay, so
They'll pop up on the right, and then below that will be another drop down, say number 2, and like you can expand that, and you can fill that in the same field.
And you guys can see our sheets, correct?
Yeah.
Anyone who visits. The only thing we can't see are notes you put in the journal.
Oh, okay.
But there's a section that's also a public notes too, which can be nice.
Okay. I think I already did that then.
I would like to change the one that I created at character creation to match the story that we told each other just now.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to change it much, but I had put in Hot for Revenge, which was, as a child, I was the only survivor of a mysterious attack on my home. I'm just going to change that to wanting revenge on Kendra for stealing back that opal and failing me.
That makes sense. This is what Session 0 is all about, is that when we go through it, we're going to realize we want to change a lot about our character to make it match up.
If I may also add on your behalf, DQ, that if you haven't used something yet and you're a new player, he will almost always allow you to swap it out for something that makes more sense narratively. Not like that you need right then in the moment.
Yeah, if you say you had a spell and you haven't used it, and you're like, I don't want the spell. I don't care, just change it, and then when you use it, it's your spell. I put on I don't know if everyone has a link to the owlbear. We can post it in there again, but in a separate browser window, you can see this map bigger. But it's going to be a way for us to reference what we're seeing in the space. He also has it in the stream.
If you
The
have a link,
owlbear?
Yeah. So I'll put the link to this owlbear in the Discord just so that you guys can get to it.
I'm just saying goodnight, Carlos, in the chat. He's going to bed. He's been with us most of the day. Thanks for being here, bud. We'll see you next time.
So as you guys are ready, feel free to stop me as you're working and you have a question. But as you guys are building your characters, I'm going to describe a little bit more what you see in this tavern. As you pop in, we see this cowboy gentleman. We see this clockwork behind the bar, which are over here. We see a few other patrons, and given the way they're dressed and outfitted, these appear to be captains. In one corner, a dark corner by himself, is a heavily armored man in black leather armor. And he has gray hair, and seated beside him is this fearsome-looking blonde woman who has a barbarian air to her. So that's one pair of captains, and I'll bring up their pictures. That's who you're seeing in one dark corner. If you had to guess, most likely these people are from somewhere in the swamplands of this land. In another corner, you see a few gentlemen, maybe they are workers at this particular establishment, sitting with a man dressed in fiery red robes. And he's relatively young. He has a dusky colored skin. Most likely he's from the Dune Sea. Beside him is a woman in a blue cloak. She's very old and craggly. And they're playing a game of chance. And every time, after every round, the people sitting with him at the table seem to lose. And he shrugs, and they groan, and he takes their money. And then finally, we see at one of the other bars, a woman dressed very adroitly in a blue naval outfit. She has a very regal air to her, and she's sipping a fine gin. And beside her is a Nim. He has a brace on his neck. He's very small, very wiry, blonde hair, questionable mustache, and they keep to themselves, almost as if they're above being here. And finally, sitting by himself, scrolling through a whole stack of papers, is a young daemon. And the daemon, as we know, are servants of the high people. This daemon is wearing a cloak. He has spectacles on, and he's grumbling at all the things he's seeing in this scroll as he's parsing.
Bless you.
So I'm going to return to the map, and we can just finalize our characters in the meantime.
On a note about inventory and whatnot, as David pointed out in the chat to me, that you should definitely be equipping your stuff if you haven't already. Takis, I believe your armor is too heavy for you to wear. The class, you can only, it depends on what your might is, what you can carry. On top of that, you have illegal goods on you, as you have spent more than your 250 gold.
Yeah, I actually have not equipped the armor because I realized that I did it incorrectly. So I only had the hand cannon. So okay. I know there's a dagger there too. So I'm not wearing any armor. I don't have any shields. I just have my hand cannon. Or my hand
You can delete all that in the editor, and you can also, like, if you've made a mistake with money or someone, like, say if you didn't spend your money right or you spent on something wrong, you can delete whatever and give yourself back. Like, it's all open for you to mess with it just in the builder, if you like.
I'll take care of that.
The music is still running, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very dark and dank sounding. Like it. Oh, there you go. Just as I said that. Little...
Mia's out too. Good.
No, better. All right. Okay. Just let me know when we're all feeling good about the sheets, and then we'll proceed.
I'm feeling pretty good, but I don't know.
I
anything.
think mine's done.
Yeah.
And then Liren light switch. Do you still? I'm not seeing skills on Liren still.
Mine.
Password. Die. It could also be cash on my end. So.
I'm sorry. Where do you want me to put things like the Wicked Legion and just want to go home.
Under story hooks. Yeah.
Under story hooks.
Story, I think it is. Yeah.
So the
where?
If you go to background on just your normal page, like not in the editor, you can write in. There's like a journal. You can just write stuff if you want. But anytime he tells you like there's a bond or something that you can use as a story tag, you can actually go into the editor and go to the story part, and you can like create little nodules for yourself that you can then delete when you're done with.
Whatever is convenient for you. Like if you like to see like a list of notes, put them in the journal. But if you want to see them laid out like in a grid, absolutely put them in the.
So you like put them as hooks then?
Yeah.
There's the two fault and conflict, flaw and conflict things are part of the actual front page of the sheet, though, and it has boxes that you can check and uncheck each session. So at the start of the session, you uncheck everything.
So probably put them under there.
Just for the ones that we talked about with your specific conflict.
Which
you are the love. Are you the love one? Sorry.
Yeah, that's me. So do you want me?
Wait, you're the few. Oh wait, I had you backwards. No, it's there.
He's the recluse, I think.
Yes, the recluse.
So those slots in the sheet, those are good. Like when you fill those out, you're good to go.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just put these under hooks then.
Yeah. But I am currently I'm seeing Lyran, you do not have any skills selected.
Okay, I am working on that right now.
Okay, cool.
And John's really good at helping with auditing it, like because like oftentimes, like I remember one time we were all in this crazy combat where one of the players had turned all of the enemies on my map against me, like as the GM. And then in order for that player to be able to make use of that, I had to roll all of them. And John was like doing the math as I was doing all the rolls. So he's very good at keeping track of this.
You can tell me to shut up at any time too, but also
please.
just trying to poke away and make sure everyone's got everything up.
I think I'm fairly comfortable with where my sheet is at. Although I wasn't sure with like smart or deaf, or hopefully I did those right.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about that really quickly. So there's 3 attributes in the system: mighty, deft, and smart. So mighty doesn't just mean your physical prowess; it also means your strength of will. You can portray it in either direction. So you can be forceful of will, or you could be physically strong, or both, some degree of both. Deft encompasses your dexterity and your wisdom. So you can, if you're a cleric, for example, perhaps it's the grace of God that protects you. Or if you're a rogue, maybe it's because you're just really good at your reflexes. And then smart encompasses both your magical potential and your actual book learning intellect, or your memory skills.
Okay, so now I'm having trouble publishing.
Is it giving you an error of what to check? It might tell you on the side.
It's not giving me anything to do that. I'm just clicking on it. Nothing.
You know what? I ran into that earlier, Cindy, and if you've already hit save, I think you can just hit that X in the upper right to close the editor and go back to your sheet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can just close it. Your sheet's done, right?
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, you don't need to publish again if you already published.
Understood. Okie dokie.
Yeah, you can pop back and forth as much as you want between the editor and that.
Yeah. It's kind of like the D&D Beyond builder, similar.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it.
I will pop in here just to say, Daniel, I perceive that you are a very patient GM who is going to walk us through everything we need walked through. And that's great as a gamer, but as the producer of a show, we got to get moving.
Exactly. So if we feel at least confident of proceeding, let's go ahead and you can fill in the gaps as we go from here. Okay.
Great.
All right. So we are in this inn. So what are we doing? When you arrive, a woman pops out of the kitchen. She's very young. She seems to be from the Dune Sea. She seems very hurried. Her hair is a mess. She's carrying a plate of drinks, and she ushers you to a seat. And she says, "My name is Zara Faht. Please have a seat, and I will get you what you need." And she seems to be looking around quickly as she sits you down, and then rushes over to the table where those two, the man dressed in black armor is, to serve yet another drink to him. So you all are sitting together. What are you doing?
Well, I could very much go for a Manhattan right now. Just very parched, all that sand.
What's a Manhattan?
Oh, you haven't had a Manhattan yet? They're fantastic. I hear the Mamarans. I hear the Mamarans make the finest in the land. All their spices and herbs and deliciousness.
3 Manhattans.
She says, I only have apis wine, which is made from the honey here, and a bit of honeycomb. So I will get you that. And then
hush, Lava, let me get back there.
She looks and she says, oh, no, please. And she's looking over her shoulder again. She says, no, I will get it for you. I will be right back. And she steps back.
I'm like,
yes?
Look at that honeycomb up there. Are those real bees?
She says, oh, yes. There has been less production lately because the tenders of the bees, they have not been active, but this is an ancient site, and we grew the bees here and we tended to them as my father did.
Are there a lot of flowers in the desert?
There are desert flowers near the oasis, yes, but I think the bees, they need more food, and so production has been slim. And again, she peeks over her shoulder towards the bar and looks back at you.
Can I ask why they haven't been tending to them the same way?
Oh, I want you to make a perception check, because she's starting to explain, but it seems questionable. So a perception check, you'll roll a d6, you'll add your deft, and if you have the skill perception, add a +2. And you want you to roll as high as you can.
Okay, so a d6 you said?
Mm-hmm.
You are a nim, so you roll an advantage on perception.
Yes. 2d6 and take the best result.
Okay, so I got a 6.
Ooh. So now, if you roll a 6, you explode. Roll that again.
Well, 11. Oh. So I got a 5 on the second one.
So a 6 and a 5 is 11, plus your deft.
My deft is 5.
So that's 16.
Yeah.
Wow.
16.
And then do you have a perception?
I am looking to see if I have perception. I do.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So is it 18 then? So it's extraordinary. So what I'm going to tell you, she explains to you a very technical reason why these bees haven't been fed. But it's clear to you that she's making up a story in order to get you to stop asking questions.
Oh,
she
I got
seems
you.
very fearful. But because you've rolled so high, you get a player advantage. What's something else you notice? What is something else you'd like to notice about her? I can give you more information.
I'd like to know why she seems so nervous.
She seems... the nervousness seems every time she pauses, she looks over her shoulder back to the gentleman behind that bar, the cowboy and the clockwork.
The guy with the mustache?
Yes.
Okay. So that guy's making her nervous.
It seems to. She seems to be pretty good off, but you rolled so high, you can tell it's connected.
Okay. All right. And I will ask her just for a piece of honeycomb and to thank her very, very much.
She says, right away. Anything else for the rest of you?
A cup of oil?
Oil, you say?
Yes.
Like oil for a machine?
Yeah.
I think I can do that, actually.
Great,
Anyone
thanks.
else?
I'll have honeycomb and a drink.
Fair.
3 Manhattans.
3 Manhattans. Okay, so 3 apis wines.
I will also have 3 of your finest Manhattans.
6 apis wines. That's a lot, gentlemen. And then she nods and she leaves. And then she's back in the kitchen for some time. What are we doing? You hear a loud ruckus as another group of players leaves the table of the red-robed man.
I want to go over to the bar.
Yeah, which one?
The one with the cowboy at it. This one over here.
Yes. All right. You approach the bar. You see the man, he seems to be cleaning some glasses. The clockwork behind him is very quickly organizing what's on the shelf behind him. And when you approach, the man leans in and he says, well, slap my ass and call me Sally. No. I ain't never seen this many Nim in one place before.
It's literally just 3.
This is the Dune Sea, my friend. There are no Nim out here.
Well, there's 3 now.
Well, except for that one.
What? Oh, yeah. Hey, my name is Lyron the Thirsty. And as you might imagine, I'm quite thirsty.
Yes.
I understand that you have something here called a Manhattan.
Oh. I have heard of a Manhattan.
Manhattan!
Only thing we got here is this honey wine, though. I could cook you something up from my own stash if you like.
Does everyone here drink only honey wine?
That's all we got this far out in the Dune Sea. I mean, I only recently took over operations, so I haven't switched up the menu.
Well, what I'm curious about is how the people here survive if there's nothing to eat but honey and nothing to drink but honey wine.
People come and go at the Faht Bottom Inn. These captains here, you see, they're just looking for a crew and then they'll be on their way. But I guarantee you, my friend, change is coming to this part of the Dune Sea, and you will have the food you want in a short amount of time.
Why is change coming?
Well, you see, the proprietor who owned this place goes by Jafar Fat. He retired, and so he sold it to me. The name's Felix Underwood.
Guys, my beloved wife is in the chat. Hello, Sarah. Felix.
Are you openly displaying that you are a high person?
Yeah, I don't have any interest in hiding it.
I haven't seen many of your kind survive the cataclysm. Even so, I'm glad you made it.
Well, I thank you for that. Now the change that's coming, is it something that you think is going to be good for the people here?
Oh, of course. I mean, you've been hearing stirrings just beyond the borders of Mamar, human kingdoms. You know, we're always fighting amongst ourselves, but I feel like things are going to solidify in the near future. People are going to get order out of all this chaos. And, you know, out with the old and in with the new.
I see. Well, I do like new things, except when it involves, you know, people's homes being destroyed.
Well, that's why Zara stayed on with me. She wants to keep the business in the family.
Whose family is that?
Well, the Fats, of course, but at this point, you know, you gotta link things up. You gotta make it possible for new beginnings. So for Zara, with me running it, we're gonna turn a profit, which I don't think has happened before under the old man's leadership.
Well, how is it still here if it never turned a profit? Eventually you run out of money, right?
Oh, I don't mean to admonish the old man. I mean, he was smart and he traded in intelligence. And maybe that's what brought a lot of trouble out to the Faht Bottom Inn. I don't want any trouble.
Well, I will take 5 honey wines, please.
5? Now that's a gentleman after my heart. They don't call you thirsty for nothing. And he reaches underneath and he pops them out in front of you, pours them. He says, "We're going to get along, Miss Flair."
You know, I'm just thinking of this now, but can we say just for flavor that some little bit of magic I learned is that I can just make alcohol disappear as I drink it, so I never get
You like poof them out. In fact, you have cantrips, so
okay.
They just have to make all the cantrips. I think yours is chaos.
Yeah.
So I think that would make sense.
Right.
So you're like, whoop, and you just disappear.
Yep. Jeez, this guy can't. So I'm literally just wasting money to impress people.
Can I turn into a bee?
Oh, just like instantly turn into a bee?
Yep, just poof.
All right, so you're using your druidic power to do that? So you have to spend MP to do it. So spend your MP to do it. I think it has a cost, and you can reduce your MP. So you turn into this bee. You're buzzing around. What are you doing?
Where is my MP? Let's see. Magic points. How do I spend them?
So you'll see the number on the sheet. You can just enter in where it says 0. You can enter in the amount you spent.
Okay, and how much does it say how much I need to spend to become?
Under the druid's power, it should say under the kit. It'll be on your sheet in the front.
1. Okay, perfect. I got it. So I've spent it, and I've become a bee.
What are you doing? You're buzzing.
No
one noticed you except for your group because they're kind of paying attention to their own stuff.
I think I'm just going to buzz around, act normal, and head to the back room where that young lady headed.
Oh, okay. Into the kitchen, so you slide in just as it flaps.
It's just kind of like a normal bee, I'm going to mix in with the rest of them. They're buzzing around and see what she's up to back here.
We're going to reveal that kitchen there. In fact, she is she's gathered your drinks and she has them on a table, but she's crying quietly to herself and wiping her tears with her apron.
Does she? I wonder. I'm wondering to myself if maybe this mustache man didn't take Faht Bottom's place over by force, and that she might not be here necessarily by choice.
You see that she dries her eyes and she takes a deep breath. She's picking up the cart, putting the drinks on it, kind of trying to get it out of her system, basically.
Right. Just gonna. I wonder.
Well, she also has some oil on this cart as well. It seems like an oil squirted thing, because in this room you can see there's a pile of clockwork equipment as well.
What would happen if I just now poof back into being? Just poof back into my human.
What would happen if you did it?
Yeah,
are you doing it?
I'm doing it right there by her.
All right.
And as I form, I say, "Don't be alarmed."
She drops the glass and it shatters and makes a little bit of sound, and she gasps and she looks around.
Say, "Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I couldn't help myself. I noticed that you were crying, and I wanted to see if." And I start picking up the stuff that's broken on the floor, and I'm so sorry. It's just a trick, I know.
You can't.
Are you okay?
Back here. You can't be back here. They will. We will get in trouble.
Nobody will know that I'm back here. Keep your voice low. Are you okay? Are you safe?
And she looks at you suspicious, and she says, "Why have you come to the Faht Bottom Inn?"
That is a good question. Well, that doesn't matter why we are here, but I noticed that you were upset, and it is in my nature to see if I can help you with that.
She leans over as you're picking up the glass, and when she's close to you, like close to your face, she says, "Felix cannot be trusted. It is not safe for me to speak with you here, but I will find your room at night. Stay away from the bees."
You want me to stay away from the bees?
Yes.
Is there any reason that you can tell me quickly why?
She says, "They are not all natural. Not anymore."
Oh. Okay, I will see you later tonight. And I poof into a bee, and I'll fly off. And I want to, as the bee, I want to go maybe take a look at some of these.
At the other bees?
At the other bees.
Oh, right. Okay, so as you're buzzing your way back to the tables, you're kind of like flying among them. What I would like is another perception check, and I would like you to roll an advantage in this case.
Okay.
Now, I believe that because you are a NIM and you have an advantage, you've now triggered double the advantage. So you're going to roll 3 dice and take the best result.
So I got a 4 as the highest.
Okay, so the 3. So 4 plus your deft, and then plus 2 because
9.
Okay.
Okay.
And then with
9
perception
plus
2?
Perception was 2?
Yeah.
11.
11. Okay, so that's exactly a clean success. So you're trying to discern if there's something different about some of these other bees. As you're flying, you notice that some of these bees, they have mechanical parts to them. So out of every 10, there's 1. Yeah.
So there's clockwork bees. So I want to just kind of meander around with the bees and go inside one of these hives, these ancient hives that are hanging from the ceiling.
Got it. So you're going in there. As you're going through the hive, you can see that it's mostly bees. Every now and then, these clockwork ones are just crawling among them, doing the same things that they're doing. They have a little bit of a blink to them as they're moving around. They don't seem to be doing anything out of the ordinary, but they're moving with the same patterns of the bees. But once you spotted the one, you can see the others, that they're not quite the same.
Right. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hang out up here along, and observe what's happening all around maybe overhear the guy at the bar, the conversation he had with Lyron and his heavily drinking.
So listen in on the other conversations. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
What else is everyone else doing? Got some information here.
You said the guys. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Thank you. The guys to the north quarter, they were Southerners?
Yes, they seem to be from the swamplands, this gentleman, and he has a beastly-looking woman next to him.
Did I change that? God damn it, I thought I had a...
I'll bring them up.
I thought I had South Islander speech. I don't. I have no interest with those cats. You, sticky fingers! Where's our drinks? I'm looking at Lear and Lightfoot.
The drinks do come back eventually. She does return, but it takes her a long longer just to remake them because they broke.
I see you've ordered honeycomb with your beverage. Little
talking to me? Sticky fingers? Is that what you called me?
I've seen your fingers just dawdling everywhere, just getting into where it shouldn't be. I mean, it's very impressive, to be honest. It's you're quite nimble.
Well, yes, I am. That's true.
What do you think about all these other jackanapes in here? Seems like they got up to no good. I don't know if we could trust any of them.
Well, that's a good assessment as far as I'm concerned.
Which one do you think's the best mark?
You said there's a couple of gambling sessions going on, right?
Yes. So that is this gentleman. He's young looking. He appears to be Mamaran. I'm going to pull him up for you. And he's sitting with an older woman. You've now seen 3 groups of people lose to him in this gambling game, this game he's been playing of cards.
Yeah, I think that guy's cheating.
You don't say.
No.
I mean, you just
Can't spend that much and not be cheating. I should know. I mean, it's obvious.
Why don't you keep an eye as I play one of these games of chance, and you see if you can tell what exactly is going down right now.
Sure, I'll do that.
Are you approaching his table? Yes.
I think I've heard this part of the conversation. I'd like to look over at this guy, and without even bothering to assess the situation, I want to dispel magic over at his table.
Oh, so you want to cast Dispel Magic. So one thing to be mindful, when you cast a spell, it is visually apparent, so it'll be obvious that you're casting it. Are you okay with that?
Can I try to make some kind of performance check or something to make it seem as though I'm just doing like show magic?
Oh, of course. So you're going to make a ruckus, right? And try to hide the fact that
hide what spell I'm casting.
Great. All right. So what I want you to do is we're going to do a contested check. So you're going to roll with perform. You have 2 options. I would say it's a deft check for sure. So it's a d6 plus your deft. And if you have either performance or I would say the sorcery skill could work in this case because you're trying to disguise your magic. And I'm going to roll against you.
Okay. So I do have sorcery. So sorcery plus deft plus the die.
Yep. And I'm going to roll with this guy. Where is he? Here he is. All right. So he's got... Oh, he rolled a 1. So when you roll a 1, I have to roll to confirm a critical, which means roll 2d6, and hopefully I don't both roll 1s.
Cool. I also rolled a 1.
Did it? Okay, so you need to roll 2d6, and if they're not both 1s, then you're good. So I rolled a 1 and a 2, so okay. So I have a 1.
2 and a 3.
Technically, you're okay because you still rolled a 1, but
yeah. So I rolled a 1 plus his deft is 5, so it's 6, and he actually has performance, and perception. So he has an 8 total.
He has defeated me. I rolled 5 total. No, I rolled 6 total.
So 6 total. All right. So what mishap happens as you're casting Dispel Magic and it becomes apparent that the spell has gone off?
I think what happens is maybe he's not looking at me when I first start my little routine, but as I spin away, I don't realize that he has started looking at me. I'm sort of performing for everyone, and I just sort of turn right back and throw my Dispel Magic at him, and I probably just make eye contact with him for a second. And just like, shit.
When he notices the spell, he smiles. He smiles broadly, and he says, "My good friend, why don't you come and have a seat here, fellow spellcaster? I see."
Yes, absolutely. You
and
you know the art.
I do. I trained with only the finest of the Shire, under the Sultana Misempur. I serve her. She is some distance away, but I'm so glad to meet someone of your ilk here. Magda, what do you think? A high person to survive? And the woman goes, "Ugh."
So the contested roll that we made was to see if my Dispel Magic worked.
To see if he noticed your Dispel Magic. So you've cast the Spell Magic. What's strange, though, is when your Dispel Magic washes over him, you don't notice anything being dispelled.
Okay. Yeah, I was just doing that in case his cheating was magical.
Do you want to see if there's a magical residue on the table?
If I can do that, yeah.
So as a mage or any spellcaster, you all have the ability to read magical auras or the emanations that are left over. Cool. So as you're talking to him and you're examining this, you do see a residue of magical aura, but you'd have to focus on it to see what kind of magic it is.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. So he's talking to you as you're staring at this. He's talking to you at length. He goes on about how illustrious the palaces are of Misempur, and that he traveled with his airship, and he's looking for a group of adventurers to help him raid one of the tombs that her rivals are after. But as you're staring at it, you can see quite clearly that the magic that's the residue that's left is an illusory spell, and it seems to be the remnants of your Dispel Magic.
So the magic that I'm seeing is my own spell?
No, you're seeing kind of like, imagine if you had washed away something from a table, and what's left is a residue of illusory magic, and your Dispel Magic washed that spell away. Okay,
so he was doing something.
Yes.
Maybe making it look like he was winning when he wasn't.
I mean, I wouldn't burden you with a game of chance. You seem to be above that, my friend. But is your crew of Nim here? Are you on a particular quest? Because we are looking for crews.
Well, as a matter of fact, my servants and I were just...
The fuck I am.
Not you, Alonzo. Alonzo is my brother-in-law, and he is...
Brother-in-law.
How's your head?
It's a high person thing. He's my brother-in-law forever. And
not on my side.
Unfortunately, he has nowhere else to stay right now.
I see. So he's become your liege.
Hmm.
And I just kind of lean into Lear and the Thursday and say, why don't you fucking ring the bell while you walk in? Jesus Christ. Let me talk to this man. We have eyes on the matter.
Listen to me right now. I'm in the middle of a conversation with an important man. Please walk away.
You don't know what you wouldn't be able to lie your way out of a wet bag. I know that makes
no
sense whatsoever, but it's true.
I will lie you right in the face.
I don't mean to interrupt in family matters, my friends.
Oh, fear not.
Ex-family matters.
Alonzo, please, just go drink your 18 honey wines.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He walks back and sits next to Yurri. Or, sorry, Takis.
Actually, when it's so funny, when Lyran was doing her shape-shifting, how high are the beehives?
I would say these are high ceilings, so I'd say the bottom tip of one of them is maybe like 12 feet up.
Okay, so what you saw Takis doing was actually, she goes, Fick fuck, get up on the table and lift me up. I've never seen bees like these before.
What does Fick fuck look like?
He's sort of rotund, and I don't know how tall typically clockwork people can be.
It's up to you. This is your creation.
Well, he's definitely taller than I am, which by at least 3 feet. So, and I assume I'm about 4 and change. So I'm like, look, I've never seen bees like this, and the fact that they're living in the desert is amazing, Ficklock. I want a sample. And so
I'm going to lift you up. I'm going to lift you up.
Oh, excellent.
That was perfect.
So he pushes you up, and what are you doing up there when you're finagling with this hive?
So I am
Did you see very
declaring
docile?
a magnifying glass.
Oh, okay. All right, so you can add that to your inventory. You take a cheap and declare it becomes part of your inventory. So you got a magnifying glass.
Yes, I have a magnifying glass. And I'm like, wow, bees. I wonder how they taste.
When you look at them, you're a mechanist, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're noticing what let's see, Fen noticed that some of the bees are clearly clockwork to you. But the living bees are moving really slowly. Like being this close to the hive would probably agitate them. They're just kind of like a blanket on the hive. They're moving very slowly. In fact, you probably spot Fen because she's done this kind of stuff before, somewhere in one of these honeycombs. And maybe Fen is peeking out at you, but
I don't recognize Fen at all.
Okay.
I'm definitely I've moved around close to keep an eye on her and see what she's doing.
I'm sure you're the cutest bee around, but I'm like, oh, what fascinating creatures these are. How did they get you so small? And I just sort of try to pluck one out.
You want to grab one of them?
Yes.
One of the
All right,
clockworks.
A clockwork bee?
Whichever one is closest. Actually, I kind of want both to compare them.
Both? Okay, great. So you can add to your inventory a clockwork bee and a natural bee. And then when you have time, you can examine them.
I would love to examine them.
So as you're examining them, the person you're speaking with, Lyran, he says, "Oh, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Lord Donovan, and this is my companion Magda. Now, when I add men to my crew, they have to be as quick-witted as their arms. Are your nymphs intelligent enough for this journey? Just to be clear."
Is that addressed to me?
Yes.
Oh yes, they're quite intelligent, especially the one over there.
Oh, the one that's finagling with the hive? Unwise.
Oh, she'll figure it out, don't worry, and it's wiser than you think.
Oh, well, I think we can dispense with the games. I had intended to test you with a game of chance. The rest of these losers here continually lose because they cannot see my phantasm spell. You're wiser than that. You're a smarter man, I can tell. So what
Indeed,
I
I definitely saw that spell.
Absolutely. So what I would say, my friend, we could split the profits 80-20 in my favor, of course, if we were to raid the Tomb of Kings. But I would say if you bring your name aboard, I'm leaving tomorrow in the morning. I'd be happy to take you along to the Tomb of Kings. And if you were to help me, I'm sure that the Sultan of Misampur would return the favor.
I'm sorry, you're sure what?
That the Sultan of Misampur would return the favor if you were to help me with your crew. I don't know what your troubles are.
What is it that you need our help with?
Oh, to raid the Tomb of Kings. It is called El-Kel Dakash. It is the deadliest tomb in all the world. But it is full of riches.
Deadly, you say?
Oh, yes.
Riches, you say?
Magical riches.
Do you have anything easier?
I mean, perhaps we could negotiate on this profit split, 70-20, 70-30, give you a 10% more.
I think the profits, profit sharing is all right. And I believe the profit sharing should be distributed based upon what each party is bringing to the table.
Communism.
No, that's not communism.
Socialism.
That would be if everyone got something, no matter what they did. What I'm saying is, we're going in,
yes,
and we are taking all of the risks and collecting the treasure and bringing it out.
Yes, on my behalf, indeed.
And you're doing what?
I am providing the vast resources of the Sultan of Misampur, who commands one of the greatest empires in this side of the sea.
So you're going to give us an army to go in with?
I'm going to give you one rickety airship to fly into the Tomb of Kings, and then to emerge victorious, wealthier than you ever were before, and then we will split the profits 60-40.
Would you estimate the value of this airship as less than, equal to, or greater than the value of the treasure we are to recover?
Oh, microscopic by comparison.
50-50.
50-50. And we get all the Nim and the rascally one there?
Alonzo, yeah, he won't leave me alone.
I think it's a deal, my friend.
You got it.
All right, so you've secured the interest of one of the captives at this point. Returning to this bee that you're inspecting. Are you inspecting it at the table where Lyran Lightfoot is sitting?
Sure.
All right. So are you gonna like dissect it, open it up, take a look at it?
Yes, and I start with, of course, the mechanical one. And I'm like, fascinating. How did they get you so small? I've never seen a clockwork so miniature before. This is fantastic work. I must meet the creator of this fantastic beast.
The engineering is exquisite. It's clearly been designed by someone who has knowledge of clockwork engineering. Being a mechanist, and you're a mechanist, I'm not going to have you roll anything. You understand how these things are constructed. But what you're finding is that in its abdomen, there is a chamber that's empty. It seems like if you open up its abdomen, there's like a little cylinder that's empty. And it has a transmitter in its head that's blinking. Most likely this is controlled someplace.
Quite fascinating. You could probably store something in this chamber. Question is what? And I wonder, do all of these little mini bees have transmitters? Who is controlling these things? And I look around. And I shrug. I'm like, fascinating. But how does it compare to this real one? And I take a look at the real one. I'm like, natural beings, too fleshy. And I go, Lyran, a present for you.
So you give it to Lyran Lightfoot? Lightfoot, what are you saying?
Why would I want this?
It flops over. It can barely fly. It kind of gets on the ground. It's crawling slowly.
I don't know. It looks a little sickly. Give it to Fen. Maybe Fen could work Fen's magic on it.
Maybe. Fen can find it, I'm sure.
But where is Fen?
I don't know.
Fen is never around when you need.
And just as that happens,
computed.
In this bar, is there like a door to a back room somewhere other than the kitchen? Is there other doors?
Let me give you this map again. There are in fact a lot of entrances. So where are you? 4. This is where it gets difficult because here we go. All right, 4. So we're looking at this map. There was the kitchen that you were in, right? And then over here, there's a staircase, which you would assume leads up to where the inn, where all the rooms are, people sleeping. And then there's the entrance that you came in from, which is down here.
Okay. So
and then there's a bathroom as well, but there's nobody in there.
I'm gonna as he says, "Where is Fen?" I'm gonna come out of that bathroom.
Okay, buzz out. Oh, as that person, you're gonna walk out.
As my human form. Yes.
All right. So you
as
right
Fen's
back
walking up to the table, you just see Alonzo pointing at the bee. Is that fucking Fen? Did you kill Fen?
Why would I kill Fen? Wait.
I don't know. You're tinkering. You're making.
Oh no! Is that Fen?
I don't hear that.
Is it Fen? Fen! I'm like,
no.
I'm gonna take an empty glass and put it over the
where did
bee.
Fen's things go? Can I keep him?
Do you want to take the bee?
What are you doing?
That's your inventory.
I'm gonna scoop that.
Fen, it's okay. It's okay. I got you.
Remember, don't fly towards the light, Fen. Light is bad for bugs.
I got you.
I'm gonna come over and make a big deal that I'm here and scoop that poor little bee into my hand and say, "What are you doing?"
I didn't do it.
Leave this poor
I accidentally squished him, Fen. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to turn back to this guy in the red cloak and say 70-30.
You make a good point. It must be a lot of work to deal with these people.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want the full risk at my hands, to be certain. I think that's a possible offer we can discuss once we're in flight tomorrow.
Absolutely. That sounds good to me.
And I am going to look real close at this bee.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if I have any... I can communicate with bees and animals?
Oh, is that what you can do as a druid?
I'm asking. Is that?
What does your druid ability say? All the rules in OSR Plus are short, so we can actually read them to each other.
It says, Sacred Circle of the Elder Clerics grants you special communication with the forces of nature.
Oh,
I can
okay.
shapeshift.
Mhm.
The animals you shape change into must be your relative mass, and your equipment changes with you. It doesn't cost me any mana to turn back.
Mhm.
I also speak the secret language of nature, which allows me
Oh.
to read the emotions and intent of all non-monstrous flora and fauna.
There you go. That sounds like that's a yeah. So you do this animal as you're reading its language. It doesn't have a written or spoken language, right? It's an animal
Right.
that communicates through pheromones potentially. You're sensing that it is starving, and the whole of its hive feels weak because they haven't been fed. And you get the sense that it seems overwhelmed by a vibration that's disrupting the hive.
Which I assume could be those clockwork bees.
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
Can I find out where the bees are transmitting to find the owner of the bees or the controller?
Yeah, you want to maybe mess with the antenna and possibly see what direction, at least. What's the emanation of it coming from?
Yes.
That sounds like a success check, a smart success check. So it's a D6 plus your smart, and if you have a skill that can help you with that, you'd add a +2.
Okay, let me see. Do I have a skill? Crafting, maybe, or domain
Crafting.
knowledge?
It's domain knowledge clockwork. Is that what it is?
Yes.
That's perfect.
Or engineering in general.
Engineering. That sounds like that would work. So let's do a D6 plus your smart plus a 2 for that skill.
Okay.
And remember, you can always employ your story tags on any of these rolls.
That is a 6 plus a 4
Ooh.
is a 10 plus a 2 is a 12.
So roll that D6 again because it explodes.
Oh, haha. Let's see if it explodes. And I rolled a 1.
Uh-oh, now roll 2D6 and hopefully they're now both not 1s. So we're at 11 so far.
I rolled a 10.
10, all right. So you're good. So you got, when you rolled the D6, you didn't have 2 1s, which is good. Okay. So a clean success is an 11. So you know the general direction of the transmitter. You have some tinfoil and other forks that creates a spark that indicates a direction. It's coming from below the structure. You're not certain how far below, but it's certainly below. Yes, John?
I think she had a 13.
13? Oh, is that what your total was?
She rolled a 6 and a 1, so 7, plus 4 from her attribute, and then plus 2 from her domain knowledge.
Yes, I forgot to add the
Excellent.
skill.
This is a numbers guy, so he gives us this advantage. All right.
Thanks,
So that raises it.
Oh, I'll also
13
come to bite you in the ass when it goes wrong, so I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
A teacher's pet, too.
13 is a GM advantage. That means I'm going to give you a little bit more information than a clean success. So you know it's coming from below. You know it's shielded in some way, this room that it's in, that the emanation is shielded, and it can't be more than, I would say, 1 floor below. It's in a thickly shielded room. So what I'd like to do, how much time? I always like to check where we are on time.
Actually, we are a little late for our break. We normally take a break about halfway
okay.
through the 3-hour game.
Which we should do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much time do we have left in the 3 hours? That's my question.
That's kind of up to everyone else. This is the last event of the day. Our general ending time would be an hour from now.
Okay.
So I know. Fortunately, this is a multi-part game, so we can continue next week.
Yeah. So let's take our break, and then we'll fulfill the rest of the hour. Does that make sense?
Sounds good.
Okay, cool.
And then we are going to continue. Is that correct?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is a 3-session one.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
perfect. Perfect. Nice.
All right, great. Let's take our break.
Beautiful.
All right, we'll see everyone in about 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. I give you player tokens if you want. I don't know.
Oh, I'll be.
All right. We're back.
Hey.
Thanks everyone for being patient for our break. I saw Sarah watching us and chatting on both platforms, which is great because it doubles the view count. And let's see what happens now. Now we have tokens. I'm over here just being devastatingly handsome with my mage friend.
We're in the wrong spots.
No. That's where I'm arguing.
John
with this
made
man
cook
about
those
this.
up for us just now.
Yeah.
You can move them as you wish.
Yeah, I put my guy there. Great work.
This is Owlbear. Owlbear's really cool. It's free.
This is so cool.
Oh, I'm going to take a nap. Good night.
Oh,
Actually, I want to ask Fen if they could transform into bee and go downstairs with me.
yes.
Patty
Before we
and
do that-
Johnny have switched places on screen, I just noticed, probably because of the weirdness with the call.
Off and on.
But
yeah.
I will deal with that.
Tonight,
myself.
the part of Fen will be played by Jon
Yeah.
Parsons.
You may continue while I deal with this.
While he's working on that, before we take more actions, what we said before we turned on the stream, I just want to. So we can continue in the scene as long as we like, right? We've acquired the interest of a captain. There's a few others, so we can continue to interact with them. We've learned a few things about the environment. That something's up with Zara. Something's up with these bees. They seem sick. There's clockwork ones. Questionable affairs going on. So it's up to you guys. The alternative is going to rest because it is very late. You've been traveling for a long time. So I'll turn it back over to you guys. So you said you were interested in taking some sort of investigation downward.
Yeah, I would be willing to turn into a bee again, but this time I think that I will probably go into the bathroom to do that, just 'cause. And then, yeah, we could go downstairs and see what's down there, since that's where you think the signal is coming from.
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
want to confer together about this? Get everyone on the same page? Yeah.
Want any other company?
Sure, you want to come in, Lyron Lightfoot? There might be some stuff down there. We might need your finger skills.
I'm pretty sneaky too.
Well, we're probably going to need to be sneaky to go down there, because I'm not sure that we're welcome. You know what I mean?
Well, this is probably the point where I'll come back over to you guys and say, "Hey, guys, I got us a job.
Ooh, what kind of job?
We have to rob an extremely easy tomb."
I'll pass.
No, it's you don't understand. It's a tomb. Everyone there's already dead. We all just go in and take their treasure.
That's what they all say.
Nothing's
You
already. There's got to be
How
some
much treasure?
Oh, and you're supposed to be one of the high people. Thought you were smart.
No, I'm smart. That's why I know that when you get an easy job like robbing someone who's dead, you take it.
But why hasn't it been robbed before now?
Because you need an airship to get there. And we've got one. That guy over there. He's
And
not
you
an
trust
airship.
him?
He has access to an airship.
And you trust him?
No.
Forget about that. Lyron, look at this. It's a mechanical bee. Isn't it so amazing?
Yeah, that's great. I'm sure the world's about to turn over for it. Listen, Takis, what's your problem with tombs?
When you're holding up the bee, you notice that the clockwork behind the bar he takes his hat off and he's looking more closely at your group.
Oh.
Oh, do I notice it? I don't think
he's
so.
kind of cleanly looking at you guys. Maybe you don't, but he's like looking in your direction.
And I'm going to kind of tap you on the shoulder and say, hey.
Yeah, what?
At the bar is watching you.
Oh, and I look, I'm like, wow, he's amazing. And I wave. I'm like, hey, handsome.
And he gets out.
Keep
from
it in your
behind the
pants,
bar,
Takis.
and he approaches. And unfortunately, I don't have my clockwork voice, but he approaches and he says, my name is Edwin. I am pleased to meet you.
Edwin, you are the most not one of the most fascinating things here. How do you keep your joints and gears so clean and free of sand?
Why, thank you for your kind compliments. Mr. Felix Underwood over here pieced me back together again when I faced certain peril in the Dune Sea. And now I do work with him. all the time. Here we are trying to restore order to this old place.
Order?
I understand you are a mechanist.
Oh, yes. A very good one.
Ah.
Why did you face peril in the Dune Sea?
There are many dangers in the Dune Sea. I was torn apart by the Amuti, which are fierce desert warriors who come out of holes. They ripped off my head and all of my arms, and it took Felix some time to piece me back together again. But here I am in good shape, and my suit has been dry cleaned.
Huh.
You know, Felix told me he plans to turn a profit here. What do you think of his idea?
I think his plan is sound by the numbers. I have done the projections. I believe in approximately 6 months we'll be turning a profit, especially once we increase traffic to this location.
Does that... How increase traffic?
Oh, well, we will have more airships to work with.
Does this have anything... I forgot the name of the mage I was speaking with. What's his name?
Oh, Lord Donovan.
Does this have anything to do with Lord Donovan over there?
Oh, the Shair from Misampur. He is one of the captains visiting here. Oh, no. You see, Edwin, he once worked for the Imperial forces that are amassing somewhere north, and he's gone out on his own. He is part of the retainers now. We are a treasure hunting guild. And so our acquisition here is strategic. We think if we can set up a business here, we will have traffic from all the four winds of the world.
Interesting.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Absolutely.
What is with the mechanic bees?
Mechanical bees? What are you talking about?
Let's hold
Shove
it
it.
up.
Look, this is fascinating, amazing work. Did you do this?
Curious that you have found this. Where did you find this?
Oh, I don't give it to you. I just show it to you.
Where did you find this?
Around. I mean,
Oh.
it's a bee hive, right? So they're everywhere.
Very interesting. Can I have that so I might inspect it?
You could get your own.
It is entirely possible that Jafar, who was the previous owner of this place, was experimenting with such technology.
Oh.
Do you know?
Is he still around?
Oh, no, he has retired.
Do you know if there's any flowers around here?
Oh, yes, there is a desert oasis some miles south. It is there that desert lotus grows.
Your bees are dying and starving to death.
That is terrible to hear. Are you a beekeeper?
We need, yes, in a way, we need food for your bees, or they will die, and you will not have honey, and you will not have a business.
That's terrible. Do you think you could help me acquire some of these desert lotuses?
Well,
I will have to speak to Felix, of course. Mr. Underwood is very busy.
I think it would behoove you and everyone else if we did something about it.
I think that is a good thought. Give me a moment, and I will speak with Mr. Underwood, and we can make a plan.
Maybe I should speak with Mr. Underwood.
Oh, come with me. And he starts
will.
heading back towards the bar.
I'll follow you.
Do you want some backup?
Yes, and I wave. Someone come with me.
So as you guys approach the bar, Felix is like looking over the bar down at you guys because you're with him. I got something I can help you all with.
Your bees are dying.
Oh. You know, I had an inspector come not too long ago to take a look at them. I think there's been some neglect in this hive.
They are hungry. You do not have any flowers around here.
Oh. Are you some kind of horticulturist? Maybe you can help me.
I am, in a way, a horticulturist. In a way, I would love to help you, but really, I just want to help the bees.
I understand, and nature's after your heart, isn't it, little one?
Yeah, you're correct.
Well, how about this? I say we set up shop and figure out a plan. Why don't you guys get some rest first?
Perhaps.
I mean, I could have a group take you over to that location that Mr. Harrington here has been talking about. You said it was an oasis, and then Edwin nods. I have been past there once or twice, but I don't know much about these bees. I haven't caught up yet with the whole business.
Well, how soon can we leave for this oasis?
Well, I tell you what, you guys get yourself set up, and right in sunrise, I'll have a group setting you up to take you out there.
No funny business?
No funny business, my friends. If I had funny business, I wouldn't be able to make money. I wouldn't be able to make a regular business. I have a good room for you guys. I mean, it might be a little bit too big. You know, I don't know. The beds, they're like, you know, normal people size, but I can get you whatever you need otherwise.
Let me talk to my companions.
Sounds good. You need any help with those other captains? I saw you chatting up that Donovan fellow.
Well, we are talking about possibly hooking up with him and doing a job.
Oh, well, between you and me, I wouldn't trust that Lord Donovan as far as you could throw him. And given your stature, I don't think that's very far.
What are you implying, sir?
Oh, nothing. Nothing, of course. It's merely a turn of phrase.
Turn of phrase. Huh.
And I look at Lyran and say, I think he's commenting on our stature.
Of course he's commenting on our stature. Everybody does.
You'll have to excuse me, we don't see men and him out this far, and I'm just a backwoods hillbilly trying to make a living out here in the Dune Sea.
Always excuses for poor manners.
It's fair, it's fair. Can I make it up to you with a gift to your room once you settle in?
What kind of gift?
Well, what kind of food are you looking for? I do have my own personal stash.
I'm a meat and potatoes kind of girl.
I can do some meat and potatoes.
Now we're talking.
Alrighty, well, hard feelings aside, look, if you want to take care of my bees, I'd be happy to get you a cut for your services. I can get a crew together in the morning. You can head right on down to that oasis, and I tell you what, I myself personally will go with you.
I think that's fair, but let me talk to my comrades, and then we will get back with you.
Sounds good.
So I'm going to head back to the table and say, you guys, what do you think about heading to the oasis and getting these bees some food?
I think...
As you guys are... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think you guys are all a little bit crazy, to be honest. You are here talking about bees and robot bees and not enough flowers, and I've come to you and said, I have landed us a job that will earn us thousands and thousands of gold coins, and you're saying, but these bees, the bees are more important. What is wrong with you?
We can't trust that guy.
We can't trust that guy either, so what?
At least he's gonna go with us.
Correct.
That guy's also gonna go with us. If we hit him hard enough.
Go into the tomb with
No,
us?
not into the tomb, but to the door of the airship.
Exactly.
And what is his cut compared to ours?
He agreed to discuss 30% compared to our 70.
We get 70 and he gets 30?
Yes?
Are you sure?
No, he agreed to minimum 50-50. He is providing the airship and the knowledge of the location.
Well, I think we should probably...
You know what you're doing?
What?
Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get us a job while you people are out here talking to robot bees.
Have you ever had a job before now?
That isn't relevant.
It's very relevant if you are going to acquire us work.
Everyone here who has acquired us work, raise your hand.
I'm like, you know what? These robot bees might be great in exploring tombs.
Exactly.
So Actually, I wasn't paying attention to whatever you're really saying because I'm looking for a way downstairs.
Okay, you guys go downstairs. I'm sorry, Daniel. I've made a mental note of it several times, and I keep forgetting. What is the name of the bartender over here?
The human one?
Yeah.
That's Felix Underwood.
I would like to roll up to the bar privately when it's just me and him.
Yeah.
And cast seduction.
Oh, so if you cast the spell, it'll be apparent that you're casting it. You want to do that in front of
it?
It
actually says in the spell description that it's not.
Oh, what does it say? Read through the glass.
Okay. You evoke a feeling of overwhelming sexual arousal in a single target. The target believes only you can satisfy it. The feeling is irrational and works independent of the target's sexual orientation. When you are casting this spell, it is not apparent to the untrained eye. So Lord Donovan might be the only person who could see it.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's absolutely the case. You're going to cast seduction. So when you cast a spell, there's always a chance to resist. So we're going to roll. He's going to roll to resist your spell. So what you're going to do is roll a d6. What kind of spell is it? Is it a sorcery spell?
Charm. Yeah, sorcery.
So d6 plus your smart, and then if you have the skill sorcery, you'd add a +2. And then I'm going to roll the same thing, a smart. And if I have the skill sorcery, I'll roll again 2. Let's see if I do.
And you're rolling at advantage because it's sorcery, which is a smart base, and you're a high person.
There you go.
Okay.
And don't tell me your numbers until I roll. All right, so I'm going to roll his smart.
One more thing.
Roll another one.
Tell us, Steve.
Yeah.
Since we're ending near towards the back of the session, you haven't used any of your story tags yet, and you get them back at the next session automatically. So if you want,
that's a good point.
You can finagle. I mean, hot with revenge or overcompensator both seem like they would work. So that's up to you.
Let me see. Yeah, I do lean into charisma to throw people off the real me. I will use overcompensator. And what's that get me?
Love it.
An extra.
So it's going to add a +2 to your roll, and then you check it off.
15 then.
All right, I rolled a 7. So what does it look like? I mean, to you, what does it look like when you're casting seduction? Are there any telltale signs that a mage would know? Just for the narrative.
I think what I do is I have a little coin, and I do that thing where you spin the coin down your fingers, and it just looks slick as hell, and I can't do it in real life. And like whoever I do that to is just instantly enthralled with me.
He puts down his drink when he's looking at you, and he pulls out a cigar and lights it. And he's just looking at you as you approach.
Listen,
Alonzo says to the daemon, "Fuck, is it getting hot in here? Or is it just me?"
The daemon looks up. What? I'm sorry. Who are you? But we'll continue with that after this. So he blows out. He looks at you.
I'm gonna lean in over the bar real close to him and say, "Hey, I was talking with your clockwork man there. He seems to really think you've got something with this plan to increase revenue."
Is that so?
Yeah, he's very impressed with you.
I'm very impressed with you, my friend.
Well, he certainly makes
Putting all these nim by yourself out here in this hot desert.
Well, they're not easy to finagle.
It's like herding cats, right?
But I'm curious, what do you get out of this robot bee situation that nobody's talking about?
Oh, robot bees. I mean, look, here's the thing. Edwin over there, he loves messing around with stuff. He loves making little inventions. He loves tinkering, but he doesn't have a big ego, you know? Now, I can tell you've got a big ego.
Well, I got his big ego, yes.
All the good ways. But here's the thing. This bees, it's part of his plan to, up the production, because ever since we took over, it's just been low. As the bees are not doing any work. I tell you, we really should have a private drink. I feel like there's a lot I could learn from you, my friend.
I agree. Let's head somewhere. And as we start moving, I'm going to say, so what possessed you to go build robot bees instead of cultivating the bees that you have? My friends say they're just hungry. Why not?
Oh, you mean me?
Yeah.
I didn't build them. Look, Edwin, he's kind of like a big puppet dog made of metal. I'll let him do what he wants. And I'm so tired working for these Imperials. That's why I joined the Retainers. I'm looking to make a big profit here and exit the whole industry. And we got these captains. We got these captains here. We're going to turn it over. And I tell you what, there might be a chance for you to be in on this plan, if you know what I mean. And he winks. You're
trying to make bank and then flip this place.
Absolutely. I mean, what do you do? The Magic City fell. So you got to be single, right? You don't got anybody at home anymore. Your home's in the ocean.
Well, nobody that counts.
Oh. So you're not looking, though, are you?
Looking for work or
looking for companionship out here? It's so lonely, don't you think? Yeah, you really can't make up any friends 1,000 miles from civilization. And did you know you really have nice skin? It gets really weathery out here.
I do appreciate that. I take good care of my skin.
So how about that drink? We go upstairs, play a little bit of cards.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, you and me. I think Lyran will go with him, but will gradually let the spell expire before anything happens.
I got it. So how long? So a spell, the duration of a spell, a good thing to mention. A spell lasts a number of rounds, so minutes, equal to what you put into it, plus your level.
Okay, I was going to ask
unless
about
the
that.
spell says otherwise, because the spell may say otherwise.
Yeah, it doesn't say otherwise, which is why I was going to ask.
Right. So you'll have, I think, a couple minutes before he comes to his senses about it. But his disposition will, and does it say anything about his disposition changing after the fact?
I think it doesn't, actually.
Okay.
It says a seduced person loses their disposition after the spell ends. So does that mean he doesn't like me at all anymore?
It means he'll go back to as he was before.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'll just let it wear off and then let him get out of it.
And so he was leading you up to the staircase, and he's like, "So what were we're gonna have a drink upstairs? I'm really busy right now. I tell you what, in the morning we talk about this whole plan. I could write up some contracts, get you a %. I think you might have some business here with me potentially.
That sounds
great.
And
then your Nim, they can go and deal with this whole flower situation.
Absolutely.
I just suggest you guys get to bed. In fact, that's what I'm going to do." And then he starts heading up the stairs.
Yeah, you seem like you probably need some rest.
Yeah, he's a little woozy, so he's left.
Yeah, so I'll go report back what I've learned about this guy. He's not necessarily. It doesn't seem like he's necessarily trying to con anyone. He's just not planning to stay here as long as he acts like.
Mm-hmm. That is a fair assessment of what he seemed to be saying.
Yeah. So I'll report that to everyone. Or I guess except whoever went downstairs.
Well, I think we took the opportunity of you leading him away to find.
So you're going to try and go. All right. So now? If you're leading the group here, who's going with? Hold on. I kept your name. Who's going with Ben?
Well,
and Yurri, you're muted.
Oh yes, definitely I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else?
Which way is downstairs? Which way are they going?
It was all the Nims.
Question.
Lightfoot, you were going with us, right?
Yeah, all the Nims.
All right. So where are you
going? Lyran.
Lyran. So how are you going to get downstairs is my question. Where are you going?
Well, we're going to look for a place. I don't know.
How do we get downstairs?
So you can see there's stairs leading up for sure.
But we're going to maybe go outside and look around to see if maybe there's a way down.
Oh, okay. When you go outside, what catches your attention, and you probably didn't notice this as you were entering because you were kind of getting out of the desert wind, is there's a grate that's covered in a lot of sand. It's a huge grate. It's maybe 10 by 10 feet. And there's slots in it. They're very thin slots, enough for bees to fit through. And when you look down, it's like a deep hole. And there's hot air that is blowing up from it. Not hot, like a colder air than the desert wind.
Right. Can we move the grate? Can we sweep some of that
It's
sand?
bolted into the sand, like all the way around. It's like part of the structure, but you could potentially like rip it off or remove the bolts if you spent time.
Well, I have tools.
Ah, you want to start slowly unscrewing these bolts?
Yes, and I'm gonna look. Fick-fuck, please. After I unscrew, can you please lift up the grate for me?
So he's going to help you. Now, while we're concerned about Edwin inside, as you guys are working.
I'm not.
Okay, so you guys are starting drilling. So it's going to take you about, I'd say, as you're pulling each of these bolts out, maybe like 20, 30 minutes, because you've got a lot of bolts, and then you'll have to lift this grate off. Are anyone, so if Takis is working with her companion to do this, anyone else standing watch to make sure you're not disturbing?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say, you know what? Let me go first. And I'm going to transform into a bee.
Okay.
And go down into that grate.
All right. So you're going to transform and then you're going to go down. So we got that. You're working on the removal of the gate.
Then I'll stand watch.
Lightfoot, what do you do? You want standing watch?
Okay. Yeah, stand watch.
Got it. And then what are you doing in the meantime, Alonzo? So I'll resolve these in sequence. Alonzo.
Oh, sorry. I was blanking out.
You notice that they're starting to remove this grate.
Yeah.
In the front
I was following. I just was not listening for my own name because I didn't know what my own name was. I've been kind of chumming up with this Damon that's in the corner here because he seems the least tropey of all the people in the room right now.
Okay. So you're going to talk to him.
He also seems kind of awkward for my initial response.
He is very awkward.
So I'm kind of bullying him. I've also cleared everyone's drinks. I've just been knocking back.
Drinking all of them?
Fucking around, yeah. After Lyran the Thirsty kind of stepped on me and chastised me with the gambling, I've just gone to, pouring out my sorrows.
Got it. So we're gonna resolve what's happening here. We're drilling this out. Then we're gonna talk about this conversation. So let's actually. So it's not gonna. Yep.
But I want to add though that so they're all outside now. Besides Lyran the Thirsty, he's still inside, right? Well, because he went upstairs and is coming back. Yeah. I do have a side eye on Edwin.
Edwin.
Edwin to this guy
is like he's kind of finished dusting, finished putting everything away, and then eventually he kind of goes back into the kitchen, and then you see Zara comes out and she's going to go upstairs.
Is no one behind the bar?
Not right at the moment. No.
Can I go behind? Excuse me, sir. Pardon me. Work to do. I want to make myself a drink.
All right, you absolutely can make. You find underneath that there is alcohol that's not from the Dune Sea. And it's that stash that he was talking about.
Now we're talking. And I start, I do actually have domain expert mixology.
Oh, okay.
So I'm I'm doing a little cocktail flair. I'm throwing up.
You can add into your inventory 3 consumables, and they're typed alcoholic.
3?
Yeah. So in the meantime, as you're doing that, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to resolve what's happening with this bee situation. So the bee, you're turning into a bee, so you spend your MP. You're going to swoop down. Now, this particular ability, I believe it's part of your kit, so it doesn't really have a duration. You just could be a bee as long as you want.
Right.
So you're going down. Now, here's what you see. Let me pull up the scenes.
The music got perfect, by the way.
Oh, good.
It's very creepy.
So it's pitch black as you're going down. And this goes down some, I'd say, 60 feet or so, and it's like a big chasm. And, it's pitch black, so once you get away from the light above, which is slowly becoming evening, it's total darkness. And you think, as you're going down, you can see that it's a hole carved out of the earth. Once you get down, though, unless you can tell me some way you can see, you've entered into what feels like a big open cavern. And in this open cavern, you can hear the whooshing of air as it swoops upward. It's cooler in here, and you can hear a very loud buzzing of what probably below you seems to be a very large hive. You also hear a low hum that pervades this room. Let me just get my notes. Okay. Let's see. All right. There is in the darkness a dim yellow glowing light, like a blinking. in one corner of the room. It's the only illumination coming out of the room. And let's see. That's all that you can see, because other than that, it's pitch black. What are you doing?
So if I go towards that blinking, does my visibility, does it get better, or?
You can see kind of, I would say, in a personal space. So a good maybe 12 by 12 foot sphere as you approach it. When you're getting low to the ground and you realize you're on the ground, and the orange light from this object is illuminating the ground. The ground is stone, bare stone. And now you can see this object. It appears to be kind of like it looks like almost like a torpedo-shaped object. And it's clearly mechanical. And it has an amber glow inside of it. And it's emitting this hum into the chamber. As when you approach it, you can see nearby, just like maybe a good 10 or 15 feet away, a shape in stone. It looks like a statue almost nearby, but it's just outside the radius of the light.
Sure. And do I see or hear any other bees in here?
Oh yes, you hear a massive amount of bees. Like most likely, the buzzing is tremendous.
Can I tell if these are actual bees, or if these are the clockwork bees, or are they intermixed?
It's hard to distinguish because the clockwork bees sounded just like the other bees, but you do notice they have the same lethargy that the ones that you've handled before. They seem to be buzzing, but not the kind of buzzing you'd expect from a very active hive.
I see. So very lethargic type.
And this object, it emits like a hum, like like constantly.
Am I drawn to this in any way? Does it?
It's annoying in your form currently. You're not really a bee, but your physical form feels agitated by it.
Okay. And I can't really see this sculpture.
It's just outside of, like, if you go outside of the radius of the light, you can get to it, and it's about the size of a nymph, this statue.
Okay.
As you strain in the light, it has the look of a very stout nymph.
Huh. Weird.
But once you move too close to it, then you're kind of in darkness again.
Right. So what? It seems safe enough. So what I need is for those guys to come down here and have some kind of external light. Unless I transform back into myself. And I'm going to say that I have some type of light source on my person.
Do you want to declare a consumable, like a torch?
Yeah, like a torch or a lantern.
So what you would do is you reduce your consumable, and then you would add an inventory item that's like a torch, which you could do. All right. So you're
I got rid of a bunch of things. I got rid of a bunch of things earlier to open up that space.
All right. So in that case, let's give you an image here. This is what you see when the torch lights up. This big chasm chamber. The hive is in the center of this room. And you can see there's a blanket of bees on it. And instead of flying around, they're just kind of blanketed and laying on it, moving around the hive itself. But what strikes you, other than this object that's maybe, again, 4 feet tall, this clockwork object, there are 3 statues standing nearby it. And the statues, which appear to be Nim, look like this. They have, they're stone, and they have chains wrapped around them. So their forms are like this. One of them's like this. One of them has its hands behind the back. And then one of them's like this. And there's just chains wrapped around them. The chains aren't stone, though. They're metal.
Wait, these are Nim?
They appear to be Nim. More dwarven-looking Nim.
Honestly, I feel like you just pulled a magic trick on us where, we talked about the fugitive, in the session 0.
I swear to God, these Nims were created way before.
Is this your card?
So these Nim, though, what's interesting about them is they don't look like normal Nim. They're stouter and stronger looking. They're maybe a little bit taller than the average Nim. They're beefy, and they're wearing interesting ornamented armor, but of course it's all stone.
Right. And it's definitely stone.
Yeah, when you touch it, it's cold stone. But the chains are metal.
That's very weird.
Now, another thing, a meta thing for everyone listening. In OSR Plus, when you investigate or interrogate something, then I'll reveal more information or I may call for a check. But if you don't, I won't give you any information.
Oh, I see. So I'm going to inspect very closely. I'm going to touch them and just kind of walk around them.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a real good peruse on these odd-looking NIMS.
What's your class in your kit?
My class?
In your kit.
I'm a Ranger Druid.
Ranger Druid, okay. So I would say, because you have a sense of the natural world, and being a ranger, you know, you've traversed different biomes. What's strange about these statues is that the stone appears too new for these to be statues that were like here, you know, maybe decoratively. The stone and also the shape of the stone doesn't look like it was carved. Like if this was carving work, it would be immaculate, like perfect. In terms of the intricacy of the armor and everything. It would have to be perfectly sculpted by machine. These statues like look, if they weren't made of stone, you would swear these were real people. That's how accurate they look.
Okay. All right. And how far away are they from this big, massive hive?
They seem to be the hive. They were probably like maybe a melee space, which is as far as you can run, like in a few minutes. So maybe like 20, 30 feet. They were nearby, basically, but they're in different poses. Oh, in this room, as you look around with the torch surrounding this, there appears to be a lot of equipment that's probably involved in beekeeping. But this equipment has been tossed over and it's like fallen on the ground. So, for example, if there were tools, they're strewn out on the ground. You can see that in this room, there's on the walls library books in a circle that are placed in the walls on these shelves, but all of the workshop equipment has been tossed over.
Okay.
It seems like evidence of some kind of struggle in here. There's broken barrels and things like that.
Is it dusty, or does it look like it's been used?
It's definitely
recently?
not dusty. It looks like it's been used recently. Yeah.
You said there's a bunch of books.
Yeah.
Can I look at those books and see what type, maybe, if there's like a certain genre or a certain subject that's been...
Yeah. They're, as you kind of look at the spines, they're dated. They're written in an ancient script. You're not certain what language it is, but just by thumbing through them, they appear to be like annals of some sort, like record keeping. But the language is, you're not sure what language this is. What languages do you speak?
Common.
And you usually can pick a few. I don't know if you pick them.
When I tried to pick, it said that
you didn't have any at the time because of the Quest of Queens thing. That's okay. You can choose a couple right now, or however many it lets you, and tell me what you speak.
Because when I went to look at language, this is what it told me.
It should populate it now. Yeah.
Let me see. Sorry, abilities, languages. It says, you know, 0 language plus common and the language of your origin. So I must know.
Oh, so you know Nim. So the script looks like Nim, but it's not quite Nim, a Nim script. It's similar. It seems to be like an old form of this language.
So is there any words that I can recognize or at least interpolate?
It's a smart check, a d6 plus your smart. And if you have a skill that can help you, you can add a +2. And I want you to roll it as a success check, so you want to roll as high as you can.
May I also add that you have your story tags, the personal ones, when your conflict that we haven't used yet, and we are running towards the end of the session. So start spending shit.
So I can
Roll those story tags.
use those, like.
So you can just declare. So what's your story tags?
Gotta figure out how to finagle it.
Okay.
Master Survivalist and 360 Vision. I think both of those could work depending on how
I
you
think
Survivalist
360
makes
vision.
Okay, so that means in a sense you're kind of looking to see if there's commonality across these books.
Yep, I think that
Okay.
would work. And then
let's
you
get
said
as high
I
as
help
you
you
can.
with my smart.
Yep, d6 plus your smart and any skill, and then you'd add the +2 from the story tag.
And then any skill. So I don't have any marked skills except for those 2. Survival and perception. So
I wouldn't take perception only because it's derived from deft in this case.
Right.
Survival I don't think would help you.
no. So that's all I
All
got.
right, so D6 plus your smart, and then a +2 from a story tag.
So I got 5.
5 total. Okay. So on the success check, that is a poor result.
Yes,
You know it's like a NIM language, but there's no common words you can recognize. You think one of the words says like bees? So, that's all you got.
Beads? Bees?
Bees or beads?
Beads?
So as you're examining down there, I'm going to switch the spotlight as she's kind of moving around there. Let's go back to our friend here, who is speaking to the daemon.
I've returned from the bar with my drink and am now speaking to the daemon.
I was
So
going
what
to
are you
say,
saying, Tim?
I would love if I was coming back downstairs just
perfect.
as I
Time.
saw Alonzo pocketing drinks.
Got it. And what are you doing? So you're gonna both approach?
I'm not going to do anything about it. I think I'm going to just shake my head and chalk it up to that's just my moochy brother-in-law.
And I just say under my breath, keep your mouth shut. You may just get a piece of this tasty punch.
Sit down and drink some more honey wine. Let you go.
I would like to talk to the daemon briefly.
All right. When you approach him, he again startles and he puts his pen down and he says, "You do realize your friends they're removing part of the edifice."
Oh, pay no mind to them.
They're going to get in
hired
trouble.
help. They know exactly what they're doing. They just
Oh.
let them be and just talk to me, good friend.
I mean, that clockwork might not appreciate you defacing his building.
What part of talk to me did you not understand?
Oh,
Lady
you? Yes. Oh,
I'm
yes.
right here.
Oh, my name's Lancel. Nice to meet you.
Oh, Lancer, what a lovely name. I'm sure your parents were just fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
Brilliant
no, my
creatures.
parents weren't very nice to me, but that is irrelevant. I mean, in this particular case. What can I do for you? I'm very busy.
So what brings you to the dusty taint of this land?
I'm an intern because I made some mistakes in the Magic City recently, but I'm working currently for a very eminent scientist. His name is Dr. Gansfeld, and we only recently just arrived, but our airship is up there, and so I'm trying to do the accounting because there were so many mistakes I made when
Dr.
we were.
Gansfeld, you say? Is he of the high people persuasion?
Oh no. He's from Arcanum. He's from the gentle city. He has a bit of a temper, but he's a great employer. Considering that I don't have a whole lot to work with at the moment. I'm kind of running low on the trust fund, so I've been doing some inventory work for him in his research.
And I assume this doctor is not present currently.
Oh, he's on the roof right now. He's doing some experiments involving contacting the dead.
And what exactly are you doing right now?
I'm doing the accounting because he told me to get the hell off of the ship.
That's not suspicious in the slightest.
He has a lot of. He gets upset when I'm moving things. I'm trying to dust, but he has all these beakers, and there's this device he's working. It's containing spirits. I try not to get too involved. Again, I need the paycheck.
Lyran, you lanky fuck, come here a minute.
No.
Well, will you please get this daemon to make sense? They have to answer to you, right? That's the deal. They're servants for life. You created them. I don't remember what the lore is.
You're a high person.
No shit,
Indeed.
Sherlock. That's
How?
a guy that works down the street from me, Sherlock.
Wow,
He's
which
very
house
strict.
are you from?
I don't know.
Oh, but did you forget where you? Because that's pretty important for high people. If I had forgotten who my high person, the one that I would be in a lot of trouble.
I'm from the House of Mouse.
The House of, is that spelled M-A-U-S?
Don't spell it.
M?
Come over here.
Oh,
What is
okay,
it that
sure.
my
Let me just get my scrolls. Hold on.
companion over there has been asking you?
Oh,
I'm actually joining them.
profession.
That's fine.
By the way, and I'm gonna use one of the first alcoholic drink, the tester drink I make. I'm putting it in front of Lancel.
Oh, thank
and
you
insisting
very
that
much.
he drinks while he talks to Lyran.
I don't really drink though, alcohol, but
You do now, buddy. And I smack.
You don't have to drink it.
All right.
You don't have to drink it.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not okay. Okay, well, I've got to get back to my accounting work because it's a big problem that Dr. Gansfeld's working on, and it involves really difficult mathematics, and I'm not a math guy exactly. I mean, I do math. I'm pretty good at calculus. It's just that I'm not good at the kind of math that he wants to do because it's magical.
Maybe I can help.
Oh, are you a magician too?
Yes, quite.
Oh, well, I mean, it's getting late, but I bet that I could get you up to Dr. Gansfeld really quickly if you wanted to. Talk to him really briefly. He's been working all night on this, and that's why he threw me out of the ship.
Well, certainly I can just help you. You have the books here, yeah?
Oh, no, these are my accounting documents.
Okay, so that's not related.
Liren, why don't you show him one of those great tricks you're always talking about? You know, that fantastical fireworks and whatever.
I'm a powerful sorcerer. I do not do tricks.
I mean, illusions, Michael.
Alonzo, what did you want to know from this creature?
While he's talking to, I assume we're on either side, and
he's just kind of overwhelmed.
Can I try to cast Memory Sieve on Lancel?
Oh,
and obviously he's surreptitious, but can I do it? Like I'm trying to get him to distract.
While you're distracting him? Okay, how about this? I want you to, so we need to roll to see if you can make it surreptitious. I think Liren would be helping you because you guys are working together in the sense that you're both annoying him. So I want you to make a death check first. So make a death check and add anything that can help you and make it an advantage because Liren is helping you.
Oh, it's gotta be death, does it? Well, can I add the +2 from mixology? It's not a death skill though.
Because
it's a domain knowledge.
You're trying to make him drink.
Trying to make him drink.
Got it.
I'm gonna put.
And I'll roll against you.
I'm gonna take 2 from always from my
story tag.
My conflict, story tag. Always think a step ahead.
Okay, so you're trying to. You need to bamboozle him.
Yeah, we know this is a good con.
He doesn't have a great death, so here we go. He rolled a 6 though, so that's 8.
I rolled 5 +2. Oh, I just beat I beat it by a bit. So I got 5 to 11 total.
Okay, great. So you beat him. You've cast the spell. So you're able to cast Memory Sieve. Because he's distracted, I'm not going to have him roll a spell check to resist you. He doesn't really know what's happening. So what memory are you trying to extract from him?
I want to know more about his boss and like what he knows of the boss before he got kicked off the ship because it seems shady AF.
Sure. So in this memory, you see this old man's face with wild blue hair. He's wearing a lab coat, and he's ranting and raving at Lancel at the moment, and he's pointing because you're looking for the moment to cast the ship. He's pointing at these broken beakers that Lancel had knocked over with his wings when he was, helping him, and he knocked it on the thing, and you see that this man is so angry. He just yells him to get out, and then when he turns around, you see there's this large circular, looks like a safe almost. And there's a glass portal on it, and you just see a swirling of like ectoplasmic energy inside of it. The thing is like bouncing around, and then he rushes over to it, and he's like hammering in some part of the portal, and he's turning knobs, and he's just like kind of dealing with the chaos that was caused as a result of those beakers coming out as Lancel leaves the airship. And you can see that he's leaving onto what looks like the roof of the building that you're on.
I'm gonna take the drink from Lancel and like. I believe you've had a little bit too much to drink, friend. You should probably hit the
I agree.
hay.
Yeah, I think that's a smart idea. And it was nice to meet you guys. Just let me know if you guys need anything. I'm just gonna go back and hopefully that Dr. Gansfeld will let me back on the ship by now. And he's trailing off as he's talking.
And I will blah everything to Liren, like even though despite our friction that we have time to time, I do know that he's very smart and would be able to like put some pieces together. I will add though
I'm that way with everyone. It's
I mean, game knows game too. We're both straight up liars. So it's like I know we both like deep down know what we are. But I will also add I don't want to be stereotypical, but I do believe that man speaks his W's as V's. I just get this feeling that he is gonna want to stuck my. I don't know. He had that look about him.
So, do we want to kill him, or what are you saying?
That escalated quickly. I thought I was just It just seems like another interesting piece to this puzzle that we are developing around here. Where are our Nim, by the way?
Alonzo, I have a question. Why is it everywhere I go with you, there has to be some sort of puzzle? Why can't it just be a tavern with starving bees? Why does it have to be a puzzle?
The world is a puzzle. Haven't you noticed, my friend? Just look around you.
You're definitely very puzzling. I've noticed that.
What, have you been living under a rock or on a rock? Oh, too soon? Too soon?
Get fucked.
Perfect. I'm going to switch back over to the other. See, how much time? Where are we on time? I just want to make sure.
About 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
I mean, if you want to be on the dot, it's a little flexible.
Let's conclude this half of that scene. Yeah. So you're down there in the pits. You've now removed the grate completely. At this point, you see the massive hole. What's happening now? Between the two of you, you can both interact.
Well, I'm going to go to the grate as soon as I hear that it's been lifted and be like, come on, help me. I see all these books. I don't know the language.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh,
sorry.
Muted?
No, I'm muted. I'm like, books. Oh, did you bring any back?
No, they're just this way. I need to show you.
How deep is this hole?
How are we
going to? I said it was about 60 feet down. Yeah.
Is there a ladder?
There is not.
You know what? I'm a thief. I have rope, right?
Oh, you declare a rope. All right.
I'm declaring.
Declare a cheap supply as a rope. Great. And you're probably going to tie it to something. And I think a rope, like 100 feet probably or so, would make sense. 50 feet. Maybe tie 2 ropes together, whatever. All right. So are you gonna guys go down and climb down?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. So you're both Nim. You both have advantage. You're all Nim, and you all have advantage on depth. I'm not gonna have you roll to climb down there because you're pretty nimble. So you get down there, you land in the chasm, and you're right next to. Hold on, don't tell me. I have a reference sheet here, right next to Fen.
Yes.
Usually, when we run the games in our other system, I have their actual names up, so it's have a document that I'm referencing. Yeah.
It's also 2:30 in the morning for us.
It's true. Yeah. Oh, you're all together. So let's have a final conversation before we close this session, and then we'll pick up next time.
So, what'd you find? Did you find out where the clockwork bees are hiding?
Right, not really. So,
did you find anything shiny?
There's these weird Nim-like statues that don't quite look like Nim, but kind of like Nim, and there's all these books, but it kind of looks like our language, but it kind of doesn't. Anyways, I need more time, more light, more companionship, more knowledge.
Intriguing. Let's go.
We have to investigate.
Yes, and I'm running.
Cyndea, or sorry.
Put all our skills together and
let's go look.
All right, so you guys are going to huddle together and start to investigate this room. And I think that's the perfect place for us to pause for the next time.
Yep.
Yeah?
Upstairs, Lyron the Thirsty is seriously considering just leaving.
Right back into the desert.
Yeah.
Cast Dimension Door.
I'll get one of those mammoth reptiles and go.
Well, thank you guys for our first session of OSR Plus. I look forward to running the next couple ones so we can figure the scenario out.
Yeah, thank you so much for not only running this game, but for joining us in ArchoniaFest.
Thanks for running this. This is like a cool. I love the whole concept of the fest.
Thanks, man. This is our first one. I'm having a blast so far. This game was great. I loved it. Thanks so much. I can't wait for the next one. But yeah, if you're watching this right now, you'll see part 2 of this game next Monday. On our regular Tales from the Backlog show, and then part 3 the Monday after that, and then for the rest of this week, it's still ArchoniaFest through Friday. So we're going to be streaming 12 hours a day, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., you'll see Alan and I building our characters for the upcoming games. We have Tales from the Loop tomorrow with Mia running that. And Beyond the Stars with Max running that one. So Alan and I will build our characters for those right away in the morning. Then you'll see Alan doing prep for his Call of Cthulhu session. He's going to prep that on stream. I will go hide in another room. We'll do some game and book reviews in the middle of the day. And then after that, we have 2, 4, 7 more games this week over the 3 days following. So
You are busy.
yeah, 11
Jeez.
total, of which this is number 2. All capping off with our regular Shadows of Archonia campaign 2 episode 27 on Friday, when you will finally see me back in the GM chair on a Friday night. So we'll see you then. We hope you're with us all week. Hit follow, subscribe, all of those things. Thank you so much. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Cindy, Patty, Yurri, and everyone else who participated today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wait till next Monday.
Yay! Good game, everybody. That was awesome.
Wow.
A lot of fun.
All right. Thank you so